The Portland Winterhawks provided another wrinkle in a series that has become too unpredictable. With the Edmonton Oil Kings on the verge of another WHL championship, the Winterhawks offense came back to life, and with it, their championship hopes as well. It's back to Portland for a winner-take-all Game 7, next on Shaw. The hero of Game 6, Keegan Iverson, his second goal of the series coming early in the overtime, the only forward to score for the Winterhawks an evening ago. He's up to 8 points. Big game for him to get the winner. Derek Pouliot with 3 points from the back end for the Winterhawks had the tying goal in the third. First defenseman in 15 years to record 30 points in one playoff season. He's just 2 off the record at 32 points. And Curtis Lazar with a goal in Game 6 as well. He made it 4-2 in the second period. That was his second of the championship. You know the Oil Kings are looking at him tonight to lead the way here in Game 7. Good evening and welcome to Levin Machinery WHL on Shaw and Bobdale Gloves WHL Central. I'm Andy Neal. Greetings again to those of you watching south of the border on Root Sports. Well, it was Moda Center Friday night, Rexall last night, and now Veterans Memorial Coliseum here in Portland as this Cal Tire WHL Championship will be decided this evening. The Winterhawks hosting the penultimate game of the series here at the old Coliseum because the NBA Trailblazers are playing across the Rose Quarter at the Moda Center. And what a comeback last night for the Winterhawks, erasing a 5-2 third period deficit to force the 7th and deciding game. Now they have a chance to successfully defend their WHL crown that they won a year ago. Meantime, for the Oil Kings trying to bounce back after such a heartbreaking loss. But remember, they won in Game 7 2 years ago at Rexall Place for their first title in the modern franchise era before Portland won in 6 a year ago. So the rubber match comes to a head this evening here at the Coliseum. Change in goal for the Winterhawks. Brendan Burke, it was the big question after Game 6. Burke will start tonight after recording the win in overtime an evening ago. So for their thoughts on the first Game 7 of a WHL Championship south of the border, upstairs we go. Dan Russell and Bill Wilms. Gentlemen.
Thank you very much, Andy. Good evening. Well, this WHL Championship Series is like a blockbuster movie so far. So many twists and turns and heartbreak too. And Game 6, Bill, is a game that we won't soon forget.
Let's go back 24 hours and get it started right away. Edmonton with a 1-0 lead when Henrik Samuelsson scores that goal. Samuelsson again makes it 2-0. In period number 2, Anton Cederholm makes it 3-2 for Edmonton. How about Edgar Skolda on that stretch pass, 5-2. Now in period 3, Mitch Moroz takes this offensive zone penalty. We know what the fans think about it. You know what Moroz thought about it. Mitch Dumba, power play goal, that made it 5-3. Keone Teixeira, 60-year-old defense, made it 5-4, and then 5-5 at 11:14 into third period, and Keegan Iverson with the overtime winner, and that tied the series. And what an effort that was last night.
That was unreal. You know, there was an interesting moment after Game 5 here at the Moda Center across the parking lot. Matt Dumba, if you read his lips, he said we're going to be back. And Bill, he played a huge part in them getting back to Game 7.
He was pretty confident. When he did this, he skated off the ice. You have a look here. Watch your lips. He's going to say, we'll be back. He's assuring him. Well, last night, he did a pretty good job of delivering on that promise. I thought he was involved physically. He's so dangerous when he joins the rush. Couple power play goals, the big shot, started a comeback as well, and a quick wrister there. And, his risk-reward game is really something. And Dan, I thought that was the best -3 performance of a player I've seen in a long time. Matt Dumba hasn't been past round 2. Now he's in Game 7 of the WHL Championship game.
Now, speaking of Game 7, I'm sure many of the pundits in the last 24 hours are wondering, how can the Edmonton Oil Kings possibly pick themselves off the canvas? But I know you have some thoughts on that.
Well, if you go inside the Edmonton dressing room, there's no negative thought, none whatsoever. They're focusing on period 1 and number 2. I'm not even sure they've looked at period number 3 or the overtime. Derek Laxdal's team says in period 1, you know that they were a physical presence. They did a great job on checking. They checked him to a standstill. It was 3-0 after period 1. It chased Corbin Bowes, the starting goalie for Portland. How about a 5-2 score after the second period? The Winterhawks were clearly on the ropes. For him, he's got to be talking to his team right now and saying, let's be the first WHL team to win a Game 7 on the road in WHL history.
Yeah, hard to believe that's never happened. So that's some of the mentality of the Oil Kings. What about the Portland mentality?
Again, all positive. You're Mike Johnson going inside his dressing room. No negative thought, but he's going back and focusing on period number 3. They got back to Winterhawk hockey. They created turnovers in the neutral ice area. They had some zone entries with confidence. This this is what the Winterhawks do best when they come up the ice and somewhat creative. They're a confident group. They didn't care what the other goalie at the other end was doing. It's back to Winterhawk hockey. That's all period 3. That was impressive. And they want to be the first Portland team since 1982 to win a WHL title on home ice here in Portland.
How great is this rivalry? Well, consider this. The maximum amount of games these two teams could possibly have played over 3 years would be 21. Tonight is game number 20. Let's see what happens in game number 7. The first period is coming up. It's the WHL on Shaw. Welcome back to Veterans Memorial Coliseum. Last night, or very late in the afternoon, when Portland scored the overtime goal, the phones went crazy. They sold 5,000 tickets last night, and the rest of the tickets today. It is a complete sellout here in this arena, as it is next door for the NBA game. So there's over 30,000 fans in the Rose Quarter area for 2 big playoff games. One team in Portland can win a title. The other team is trying to fight off elimination. We're getting ready now to go to ice level for the 2 national anthems, O Canada and the Star Spangled Banner.
O Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all thy sons command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north strong and free. From far and wide, O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
So there you have it, Dean Schrock with the national anthems here prior to game number 7. And while the anthems were playing, the red light was flashing. Talk about home ice advantage. The goal judge putting the red light right in front of this guy, Tristan Jarry, who in the finals is .915 save percentage. He goes from allowing 2 goals on 108 shots to 6 goals yesterday on 41 shots. That's how fast it can change. And up the ice, that's the story. I mean, 4 hours ago, we didn't know who Portland would play in goal for game number 7, but Brendan Burke gets the call. 2 goals against yesterday on 47 minutes of action after replacing both. Referees Iverson and Wheeler both working their 3rd games. Iverson worked games 3 and 5. Wheeler worked games 1 and 5. Over the years in this building, there have been 4 titles won here. The 1971 Portland Buckaroos won in the old WHL Pro League. The 77 Trailblazers won a championship here, and the Winterhawks have won 2, including a Memorial Cup title. Game 7 underway. We hope you enjoy it tonight here on Shaw from Portland. Edmonton in the dark uniforms, and Corbett tries to pass this side. It's picked off and shot in, and Jari touches the puck for the first time. Leaves it for Mayo. Mayo passes up for Pollock. Pollock, lead pass for Petrick. Petrick puts the puck in, gives chase down to the corner, and then he runs over the Portland defenseman Cederholm. Works out to the neutral zone, and Lear, the captain of the Winterhawks, in possession. Now Pouliot. Pouliot, his pass goes off Bjorkstrand down the ice. Jari again behind the net. Now a puck goes off the stick and out of play.
Levitt Machinery's WHL on Shaw has been brought to you by Levitt Machinery. Online at levittmachinery.com.
Yeah, how about this? We're going to go one more game of sudden death now between the WHL's top defensive team against the top offensive team. And you know what they say, offense wins games, defense wins championships. Well, we're going to wait too hard to predict what will happen. We'll have to probably wait a little bit more, a couple hours to see what that's all about. But this series clearly, in my opinion, Dan, deserves a Game 7. And two of the best coaches in the game of hockey right now behind the benches of both teams.
And when you saw Laxdal, you saw a player or a coach that once played here as part of that 1983 Memorial Cup champion for the Winterhawks. Third to the open wing, and Orban off the bench for Edmonton. Shoots the puck deep into Portland territory. Carr collecting it behind the net, and then he's ridden off the puck. Was around over there for yesterday's overtime hero, Keegan Iverson. Gets it out to the neutral zone, now sent back, and all the way back. Orban in control, and he's got room for Edmonton to move it. Orban, long pass, that tips off Calda. What a game he had yesterday. Calda puts the puck in deep. Pouliot, he collects it. Pouliot gets it to Cederholm. Long pass up for Bittner. It's on the tape. In over the line. Pouliot joining in. Off a stick. Goes off the glass. Bittner gets the puck. Tries to feed Patan behind the net. Nicholas Patan still looking for his first goal, but he's got company among the sharpshooters. Pouliot puts it to the far corner. Centering pass. Intercepted, long shot, and that hit something on the way. Hit Nick Patan, hit him in his hand, or he got slacked. He's favoring his left hand a little bit. Here comes Keyser back the other way for Edmonton. He sends the puck in deep. Bertolucci going after it. Eller from back of the net. Pouliot and Eller battle, and now Bittner plays it way over there for Leipzig, and away he goes. It's a 1-on-2. He's waiting for help, but Leipzig trying to make something happen. Goes up high on Jari. Jari keeps the puck alive. Petrick now in possession for Edmonton. Long pass right on the tape of Pollock. Pollock with just 1 point in this series for Edmonton. That's him with the puck in the slot trying to get a shot away. Taken down, play on, say the refs. Delio starts back with Lear. Delio heads to the net. Here's the pass. Shot on goal is stopped off Dumba by Jari. Dumba just roared into the rush there. And what a save by Tristan Jari.
We talk about the Portland Winterhawk transition game. So much of it is because of great back check. Watch Delio come right back into the front of his own net area. And away he goes. That's Delio. That's a transition. I thought he was the best player last night for the Winterhawks. They go up the ice in numbers. They have the width covered, the depth covered. They get a chance off that right wing there. Dumba, of all people, joining the rush. And that's because he was closest to join that rush, closer than any other forward.
Puck brought in over the blue line and deep behind the net. Bittner gets possession. Dumba, by the way, has already established a Portland record for most goals in a playoff year and a series. As Leipzig goes in, tries to throw it in front. Patan now gets possession. Nicholas Patan will swing it back behind the net. Leipzig waiting for it there against Reinhardt. Reinhardt knocked off stride by Bittner, then Lazar goes in for a check. Patan gets the puck, banks it off the boards to the left point. Behind the net, Reinhardt trying to get position. He gets a stick on it. Leipzig has it now. Leipzig out to the blue line. Long shot. That's knocked down. Not much on that shot by Haar. And Edmonton will start back the other way. Here's Miraz going in deep as that puck goes behind the Portland net. Dunba trying to get it. Miraz back to the goal. He's trying to work it in front. Winterhawks on it, and away they go. Haar jumping into the rush. Another defenseman. All the D-men must think they can score now after a 5-goal defensive performance offensively by Portland last night. Let's say good evening to Stu Walters.
Yeah, thanks very much. Dan talked with Winterhawks head coach Mike Johnson before the game about choosing to start Brendan Burke in goal tonight after he came in relief of Corbin Bowes last night. Helped spark a little bit of that comeback, obviously, when they were down 5-2. He says he's going back with Burke because he just looked fresh. He also made mention of Corbin Bowes dealing with a little bit of the flu that has gone through the team, also affecting Nick Patan. But with Bowes playing a lot of games in a short span, he likes how Burke looked fresh, and we'll see how much of a short lease he's on tonight.
I was told Bowes played a lot of the series fighting that flu bug. Bertolucci going in for Edmonton. Bertolucci drops it back. Here's the long shot. That goes wide of the net. Now Eller trying to get it towards the goal. He can't. Shane Bourne and Eller battling for it. Now it squirts free to Haar. Being watched by Bertolucci. Haar is really having his hands full with Bertolucci. Makes a great play, though, to get it to D. Champlain. D. Champlain sends it in. Rossignol, number 17, waiting back as he was hoping the Winterhawks would win that battle, but it's Edmonton's Keyser who comes out. Keyser at the blue line. Calder makes one move. Calder with a pass to Mraz, a shot, and a save by Burke, his first test off Mitch Mraz. Back the other way comes Bjorkstrand. Bjorkstrand with Delio and Lear. Shot, score! Bjorkstrand scores his first goal of the Championship Series, and he waits till Game 7 to pop the first goal for Portland.
So fast coming out of their own zone. The Winterhawks are right back to what they do well. That was a Mitch Mraz chance. And again, the transition is on. This team wants to go with it every opportunity they've got. Bjorkstrand with good wheels. You know, Coach Johnson said this is a team that's been cutting their shots a bit too fine. And I'll tell you something, that was a finely cut shot there by Bjorkstrand as he caught that top corner.
He had gone 7 games without a goal. This is a player who had a combined 65 goals, playoffs and regular season. And suddenly they are starting to score some on Tristan Jarry.
I think Delio's in the middle of this again on this goal. And Delio, number 9, so important in the rush. I mean, that's just going with it hard. There's a line change. You get a fresh Delio on the ice, and he's not even needed. But, you know, you're coming down that right wing. You're Oliver Bjorkstrand, a 50-goal scorer. You've got 3 jerseys in red over there. That's a pretty good look, although I will say a pretty good shot.
Time of the scoring play, 4 minutes and 42 seconds. And the Winterhawks do strike first here. Not sure that has meant much lately. Edmonton struck the first 3 times yesterday, and prior to that, in the Game 5 at the Moda Center, it was Portland that struck first, and they lost. So the last 2 games, whoever scores first has not won, as it's tipped back out into the neutral zone. Sontner gobbling it up. Sontner out to the center ice area. Calder can't get it. Leipzig takes it off his stick. Pouliot back for Leipzig. Leipzig for Pouliot. Leipzig trying to give chase. He keeps following up. There it is. He puts it right between his legs. Didn't get a lot on it, but how nifty was that? Pouliot shoots, save, rebound is swept to the corner. Viveros gets the puck. Portland trying to make a change with Pouliot going to the bench, replaced by Dumba while the puck is down there deep. Reinhardt around this near side, out to the neutral zone. Picked up by Calda, and away he goes. Poked off his stick, though. Following it up is Baddock. Samuelson trying to get his stick on it. Nick Patan switches it back to Matt Dumba. Dumba starting out for Portland, and there's Nick Patan. Patan with 6 assists in this series. Puck still sitting there. Benson, stick handling out of harm's way, gets it out to center ice. 6:15, now 6:20 gone in the opening period. Delio backhands it in. After he did so, he took a hit from Baddock. Now behind the net, there's Lear. Lear on the far side against Corbin. And it comes back out to Haar. Moving in, fakes the shot. Lear passes. Doesn't get the give and go. Haar at the line. One hands it over here to Dumba. Dumba, that's tipped on the way by Lear, but it was knocked down with a high stick. That would not have counted. In fact, it goes to Portland now, and the faceoff will come outside the line.
2 skilled, highly skilled players for this Portland Winterhawk team get their hands on the puck. Watch what Leipzig can do in this situation right there. He's going to backhand that puck between his legs, doesn't go anywhere. Well, how about following that up with a shot by Derek Pouliot? Those are two highly skilled offensive players. Get the puck in their hands, and generally it's on the net, and something good happens.
Pouliot with 3 points last night, now has 73 career points. There's the early shot, 6-1 in favor of Portland. And Pouliot tonight playing in his 85th WHL playoff game. Brought in over the line, but not for long. Bertolucci starts back for Edmonton. As he hits the Portland line, that's broken up, and everything so far pretty much for Edmonton has been broken up as soon as they hit that Portland line. Teixeira going in. Teixeira has it roll off his stick. When Teixeira and Cederholm were doing the scoring yesterday, you kind of knew that Portland was on their way to something special. 5 of their 6 goals, as we mentioned, came from defensemen. There's Rosignol trying to work it in front. Gobbled up by Madzeller. He gets it out to center and again broken up. And there's going to be a penalty here, and it's going to be a Portland penalty. Eller was taken out for interference. So Edmonton will get the first power play of game number 7.
Yeah, Madzeller, you know, we talk about his energy and his pretty good skill level as well. His feet are going 100 miles an hour. He will draw some penalties over on that far side. You watch number 20. This is Eller. You see a little trip right there. That's pretty obvious. You're not going to get away with that one. And Alex Schoenberg's going to the penalty box.
And the Edmonton power play in the series has 4 power play goals on 27 chances. Portland with 2 power play goals yesterday, giving them 3 in the series. So Edmonton has 1 more power play goal scored than the Winterhawks in the championship series. Here goes Mayo out of his own zone. Almost overskated, gets it back again. Lazar has it stolen off his stick. That was too easy, and it goes down the ice. Pecan taking it off the stick of Curtis Lazar. Half a minute into the first power play. Presentation of Days Inn Hotels rates and availability at daysin.ca. Samuelson went over the line for Lazar. Backhand pass over here now for Mayo. Mayo puts it in front, redirected. Lazar trying to get it. Pouliot had lost his stick, picks it up again, but it comes back out to Mayo. Mayo over to Reinhart. Reinhart moves in for a shot. Save. Rebound right there. They score! Second rebound. It's in, and it's the Edmonton bench that erupts down below us. A big celebration, a power play goal, and the Oil Kings have tied Game 7, 1-1.
Interesting. You get the difference between these two teams, and we've seen it from Game 1. Net presence is a very different thing for the Edmonton Oil Kings. When they get their big guys, they're especially their top 6 forwards into the front of the net area, they're tough to contain. Look at Curtis Lazar. 1, 2, 3. In fact, there's 4 Portland Winterhawks that joins that rush. Watch the play in front of the net. Is there any foot action here?
Looks like there is some foot action. Now they're going to review this, and now we're right away having a 4-man conversation in the referee's crease area. First they'll talk, and then they'll say, all right, let's see what they say upstairs. So the video goal review is underway here, and we'll let you judge at home. I know video reviews right to our right. Watch the left foot of Lazar.
There's a shot by Reinhart, getting it on the net. Watch number 27 in front.
Oh wow. That looks pretty distinct, does it not?
Here you go. You get a perfect look at it here. Left skate.
Coming from quite a distance.
If they ruled the Samuelson goal a couple games ago as a kick-in, this is even more so, I think. And Nathan Wheeler having a long talk about this. I mean, that Samuelson goal of a couple games ago was ever so slightly. That was just a tiny little motion, and this is a little bit more distinct. But look at the 3 of them. You got Samuelson in front, you got Lazar in front, you got Mraz. That's the entire line getting into that situation there, getting in front of the net, causing all kinds of problems. And have one more look at how this puck, actually they get it in the net, and how does it get there? There's a left skate.
Well, that looks like a kick.
And it ends up going almost 5-hole.
It looks like a kick by Lazar.
There's a whack at it.
On it. That's as pretty pronounced as it gets, and that was Game 3 you're referring to, way back the first game in Edmonton when something way more subtle was ruled as no goal. The Referee-in-chief Kevin Mensch is here looking at this. Rick Dirksen is here down to our right. There's Coach Laxdal. He's wondering about this. Why is it taking so long? Well, as I always say, it's very difficult to blame the officials now. It's all in the hands of the men who are right below us to our right.
Tell you what, however this game turns out, I can tell you, it'll be a most deserving WHL champion crown tonight. Portland, if it's Portland Winterhawks, they win Game 6 on the road, Game 7 at home. And if it's the Edmonton Oil Kings, it's winning Game 7 on the road. It doesn't get any better than that.
No, big moment here. This is a big moment. There's the brain trust, if you will. Kevin Mensch is standing up. Rick Dirksen on the right standing up. And they've given their word as to whether this is a goal or no goal. I say no goal. Bill, what do you say?
Yeah, I can't see it. I can't see how that is allowed because it is a very distinct. I mean, he moves his skate about 2 feet, slides it beautifully in traffic, and a good.
Here comes the ruling.
And
right away, the referee always comes over to the coach and explains what they said upstairs. And then the coach has to absorb that and then get his team back focused because they still have over a minute remaining on this power play.
And that's important to get, to refocus quickly, whatever the ruling is. And, the coaches now, Dan, when you have so much replay and so many looks at it, so many angles, you have no. I mean, there's no subjectivity about that, basically. I mean, it's very clear that was kicked in or it wasn't kicked in. And, I mean, you don't like it, but it's really important now to regroup, and you still have 1 minute and 5 on the power play if you're the Edmonton Oil Kings.
And the faceoff comes outside the line, and Derek Laxdal seems satisfied with the explanation. Not happy, but I'm sure, well, okay, maybe not satisfied either. Wow. Body language being shown by Coach Laxdal, obviously upset about it, but has to shake it off. Everybody's wound up tight, no doubt about it, and you can't blame them. That puck shot down the ice. His bench, as I say, erupted, much like the Portland bench did on their first goal yesterday. Here comes Mayo. Dyson Mayo hits the Portland line. Mraz had to go off his stick, and it's out of play, and the faceoff will come out.
Well, you got to like what Dyson Mayo has done for this hockey club. He's caught our eye last year when he played in the final as a 16-year-old. He's in his draft year now, and he just continues to play with so much confidence. And when it's 5-on-5, he clearly finds himself in the offensive zone anytime he wants. And let me just talk about this quickly. A big area where Portland is winning in this series is goals from defense. The Portland Winterhawks have 8 goals from their defense. Dumba, mind you, with 5. Edmonton with 1. Griffin Reinhart with the only goal. In fact, Cody Corbett, Dan, has got 7. He had 17 goals on the season, 6 in the playoffs. He's still looking for his first point for the Edmonton Oil Kings in this series.
Sautner going in, right in, and Burke makes the save.
That's a nice job. That's exactly if you're going to, you're going to go with it. Sautner playing so much with Griffin Reinhart. Very, very solid defensive. In fact, Sautner and Riley Keyser were 2 players that played 72 games for this team. That's splitting the defense. He kind of loses the handle on it. Not surprising that when you get into that little bit of collision, you don't have a great scoring chance. I thought Burke was very, very poised when he came in last night. The goaltender for the Portland Winterhawks. He looked very polished. He did, totally in control. See if that continues here in this game.
No time remaining on this power play. 15 seconds. Here's Corbett, long shot. Oh, it went off Burke, and it just missed. It just rolled wide of the post to Burke's left. Mraz tries to throw it in front, and it goes through the goal mouth area. Race for it over here. Sautner puts it down low, tries to get it back again. In his skates, it's out of his possession, and out of the penalty box is Shane Bourne. Portland back at full strength. They survive a video review to maintain their 1-0 lead. And Bjorkstrand from a sharp angle puts one into the feet of Tristan Jarry. Pouliot now with it. Patan. Back it goes for Haar. Long pass, misses everybody. There's that risk reward, and the risk is icing back in the Portland zone. And we're exactly halfway through this first period. A goal in and a goal called back. It's 1-0 Portland, and this is the WHL Championship on Shaw.
From big jobs to little.
Northern Quest Resort and Casino feature the Breakaway Hotel Package, which offers a premium room with a king-size bed and an appetizer at Epic. For details, go to northernquest.com.
With Winterhawks head coach Mike Johnston. And Mike, save for the penalty, are you happy with the pace of play of your team right now?
Yeah, I like their start. I like our offensive zone poise with the puck. That's what we got to have down there. We got to be able to move it to our points or move it to the net quick.
Talked about some of your snipers being snake bitten. How nice to see that for Bjorkstrand.
Yeah, you know he's going to break out. He's a world-class player, and that was a great shot.
What were you told on the disallowed goal?
I just could see on the replay it was kicked in.
Thanks, Mike.
Thanks.
Guys, this is how close Edmonton did come to scoring. This is a Corbett shot. Watch the front of the net. There's a play that Burke feels the puck. He knows when it hits him right here, but he's not sure. Is it there or is it behind me going in the goal? No, it's a third option. It squirts into the corner.
This is only the second playoff game Portland has played in this Memorial Coliseum. We were here for the other one. They hammered Victoria in game 1 of round 2. The last team to win in this building was Victoria back on January the 4th. That's the last time Portland won. They play about half their schedule here and a half across the parking lot. And remember, both teams just ended the other team's perfect home records. Portland had gone 25 straight at home regular season and playoffs. Here it comes, Tekshira. Shot, turned aside, comes back to Patan. Patan makes one move. Patan heading to the net on his backhand, and it's directed wide by Bjorkstrand. Oliver Bjorkstrand getting another chance, and it looks like he's got the field tonight. Scored the goal, his first one of the final, and he's had a couple of chances since. What's going on here? Is there too many men? No. It's icing called, and they just want to make sure that the players stay out. They have to stay out.
Well, this is not one too many men on the ice. When you talk about Henrik Samuelsson, what a series he's had for this hockey club. That's him in the key areas where he has to be. Henrik Samuelsson, with his size, his hands, he finds puck in traffic. He's got a terrific shot as well. He came into this series having scored 2 goals in the first 16 games, or the first 3 rounds of the playoffs. He scored in every game so far in Portland.
Shot by Orban, that's turned aside. The rebound is right there, but swept away. Har fans on it, but Tekshira covers up. Now it's stolen by Edmonton. Bjorkstrand with possession of the puck. Lazar now. One of the things, Bill, that you talked about in the games that Edmonton played across the parking lots, they like that environment. They know that environment. We've had all these league final games, but Edmonton's never played a league final game in this building. I don't know what this environment will do, good or bad. Right now they seem to have settled down, and they're getting a couple chances. Irving back to collect the puck. Irving going up for Petrick. Now it's shot in by Turgeon. Back to the net, Jari. As he shovels it over to Irving, and now Lazar has it. Pass broken up, Dumba. Matt Dumba plays it cross ice. Lane Viveros lost the puck. Here's Lazar going in. Lazar with Calda. Saved by Burke. I don't know if he knew exactly where it was going, but he had the positioning, and Burke comes over and stops a very good scoring opportunity for Edmonton.
Lane Viveros with a turnover. There was one just prior to that Keegan Iverson put on Lazar's stick. Well, this is a turnover to neutral ice. How about Lazar? Calda so solid, so good for this Edmonton Oil King team. And again, a couple turnovers, and they do play that high risk, high reward game, the Winterhawks, in their puck movement.
That's a big save for Burke. At this stage, he's had that disallowed goal that was kicked in. Got to come down again to Stu Walters.
Yeah, thanks a lot, guys. Caught up with Travis Green before the game. Yeah, the former assistant coach and, of course, the head coach of the Winterhawks last season. He says he was watching the game yesterday from Anaheim, was texting with assistant GM Matt Bardsley saying at 5-2, if you guys come back, I will meet you in Portland. Of course, he came through on his promise. He is here tonight. We know he's been talking with Mike Johnson throughout the series. He wouldn't say if he talked to him today, but he is in the building tonight offering support.
Travis Green guided Portland when the sanctions hit Mike Johnson, and he was suspended last year. It was Green that guided them to the championship behind the bench. So he's here for game 7. That's a great story. Delio trying to dig out the puck. Samuelsson in there, Bittner's in there. Finally scored free, and it looks like Edmonton Samuelsson was going to get it out. It is finally out for the Oil Kings, and Pouliot Now organizing, just over 7 minutes to go in the first period. Derek Pouliot starting back for the Winterhawks as he hits the blue line. Pouliot goes in, still in possession. Knocked off stride and then finished off by Corbett. Not before he got it to Bittner, and then the centering pass right on the stick of Edmonton's Brandon Baddock. Baddock gets it down the ice. Parr going back for it, lost it. Baddock comes up with it. Baddock turns, shot, saved by Burke. Baddock picked up that puck when Har was guided off it. Samuelson over to the far side. Reinhardt shoots, and that goes off an arm and out of play into the screen.
Well, with my count, this is 3 turnovers by the Portland Winterhawks, and they've kind of avoided the bullet. This is Har on the forecheck. Turnover, the puck just left there. Baddock cycles, turns, gets the puck on the net. This is a good forecheck. Calda on the job, and nice job, you know, following that up and getting the shot on the net. And again, Samuelson in a spot where you really want him, just off the side of the post, ready to pick up any garbage.
1-0 Portland leads with 6:46 to go.
Guarantee you that's what Mike Johnson's talking about right now, guys. High octane, but watch the turnovers.
From that face-off, in skates, puck squirting to Leipzig, now to Bjorkstrand. Bjorkstrand gets the puck at center. A little further, Baddock goes back the other way. No, nothing there either. Here's Leipzig. Leipzig cutting in with one hand, go right to the net, and he one-handed through the goalmouth area. Petan tried to feed hard the blue line. Now it's Matt Dunba with possession. Portland very comfortable in this rink. They practice here, their dressing rooms here. Bjorkstrand moving in. Bjorkstrand shot. That's turned aside by Jari. Even when they play across the street, their dressing room is there, but they come back over here for medical treatments and otherwise. Here's a potential stolen puck. Benson throws it at the net. Burke with his stick knocks it off the glass. Dunba gets it to Har. Har, his pass picks up. Boy, Portland is turning over the puck a lot right now. Bertolucci with it. Let's see if Edmonton can capitalize on one of those turnovers. Teaser just working like mad during this entire series. Number 14 comes up with the puck. Gets the puck now to Bertolucci. He's tied up by Har. Teaser going in there to try to dig it free. Teaser, by the way, a +12 in these playoffs. And he just won't stop working. That's him still with the puck as he throws it through the goalmouth area. Eller couldn't get it. Orban now. Good shift here for Edmonton. Teaser against Leipzig. Does Teaser ever get tired? From back of the net, Bertolucci on his back end and his forehand, and then he lost it to Nicholas Petan, and here come the Winterhawks out of their own zone. Shot in from center. Both teams trying to make a change here. Edmonton's Orban out of his own zone to Eller. Eller racing down the wing, hits the line, knocked off stride, followed up by Lazar. Lazar knocked off the puck momentarily, and now back the other way. Here comes Turgeon. Turgeon has Schoenborn with him. Shot. Oh, that's offside. The shot went wide, but the whistle blew for an offside.
Yeah, they may be turning the puck over a little bit, the Winterhawks. 3 or 4 that we've counted, but that's a pretty good job at defending the line. You know, when you've got Matt Zeller coming down the ice, number 20, he's going 100 miles an hour, and you know, you got to ride him off. You got to defend the blue line. That's obviously first and foremost job, defending the blue line. Take away the entry, and the Portland Winterhawks did a wonderful job there of making sure that puck never got deep.
By the way, Portland in this series that has had runs in it, they've now scored the last 5 goals of the championship series. Mayo coming out of his own zone, got the puck to Corbett. Both coaches electing in different situations not to call a timeout when conventional wisdom would have said timeout. That included Mike Johnston yesterday. He must have taken a page out of Derek Laxdal's sink or swim, and the Winterhawks went for a big swim yesterday to force this game 7, but he did not call his timeout despite being down 3-0 in the first period. Over on the far side, Mayo lost it. Here's a 2-on-1. Iverson with DeChamplain. Iverson stopped by Jari with the arm. Iverson going right in there. Must have been feeling really good with the overtime goal yesterday and a 2-on-1 chance there. Stolen puck in the neutral zone, and the Winterhawks dump it back in. Just under 4 minutes remaining in the first period. Stolen puck, Delio throws it in front for Bittner, and a shot. That goes off the target. Bittner throws a check, goes back out here to Dunba. Fakes one shot, takes the second, and that goes wide of the net. Petrick picks it up off the backboards, shoots it out to center, and Dunba with his glove calms it down and plays it to Teixeira. Lead pass, knocked in by Lear. Jari His backhand, plays it over to Petrick. Petrick swings it right in the middle, and then follows up, or following up is Samuelson. Samuelson taken out there by Dumba with a hip check, and then Samuelson comes back with an elbow and gets away with that. Samuelson elbowed Dumba. Now that puck goes high in the air. Lear trying to knock it down. Patan's got it. Nick Patan all by himself in the neutral zone, waiting for some help. There's the help in Leipzig, directing it back to the net. Leipzig, sharp angle shot. Jari Cederholm, now for Bjorkstrand. Bjorkstrand with Patan. Patan gains the line, puts it down low. Bjorkstrand giving chase against Sontner. Sontner, nice move back to the net for Edmonton. Plays it around this side. Eller had it and has to be back in his own zone to get himself some room. There hasn't been a lot of it. There's a big hit by Cederholm on Eller. Wow. Eller stays up there. Cederholm took the worst of it. Well, did he? Eller a little slow to come over here to the bench area. That is a solid check by Anton Cederholm. Sontner throws it around the far side. Bertolucci has it. 3 Oil Kings in the center ice area. Shoot the puck into the Portland zone. Keezer can't get it. Bjorkstrand to the line, but not out. Keezer puts it at Burke, and he holds on.
Anton Cederholm, big defenseman, Vancouver Canucks draft pick, and what a terrific hit. Watch number 20 again. We talk about his speed, his quickness. That's a huge collision. And just prior to this, Henrik Samuelson, watch number 10, and he gives him a bit of a shot right there. He gets away with that. No penalty called.
Saw some blood, and you can see it on his hand right now as Eller being tended to. Here's Petrick from back of the net for Edmonton. Petrick on his backhand swings it back behind the net. It's actually been a pretty good first period for Edmonton, all things considered. They are down by 1 in the visiting rink. Potential trip that's not called. Iverson sent to the ice. Orban sends his man to the ice. Henry pass intercepted, and Bannock starts back the other way. Lazar takes the pass. Oil Kings through the center ice area, and a drop pass for Petrick, moving in, shoots, and Burke gloves it. Holds on to stop the play. Another chance for Edmonton.
You get the Edmonton Oil Kings coming up the ice in numbers. You just want a little better look at the goaltending opportunity here. The shot. Petrick probably could have walked in another couple feet before he delivered that puck. And you saw everybody in the front of the net area just got right out of the way, and absolutely no problem for Burke to see that puck and make that save. Eller on the bench was over there with a little blood on his face and seems to be quite all right at this point.
What an exciting atmosphere here in the old Portland Memorial Veterans Coliseum tonight. Sold out for game number 7 as Lear comes out of his own zone. Lear gets the puck now for Cederholm, going in deep. Lear from back of the net, trying to squirt past the check. Does. Shot on goal, save, rebound in front! Bickner couldn't find enough room to get his stick on that puck. Last minute of the first period as Delio plays it back for Pouliot. Pouliot, up it goes for Delio. Delio off the stick and out of play.
There's an opportunity here for Bittner. Lear, first of all, makes it happen. But you watch Big Paul Bittner, his hands just yet, I don't think have caught completely up with his body. Shoots the puck well. He's number 7. Lear makes that happen. You know what? He just can't quite handle that puck the way he'd like to, although there was a bunch of red sticks in the way. Nice job by Lear. A good save by Jari, and the rest is Bittner. Uses his size well to cut in that lane. Just can't finish it off.
Back to the live action with 40 seconds to go in the period. Here comes Bjorkstrand. Bjorkstrand to Patan, moving in, rolls off his stick. Bannock has it now. Bannock for Petrick with Lazar going into that far corner. Lazar and Dumba are going to battle. Lazar goes down, and out come the Winterhawks, and they could stretch this. Here goes Bjorkstrand. Bjorkstrand right in on goal! Stopped by Bajari, and the centering pass is kicked away. Winterhawks are going to draw a penalty, though, as Leipzig is just cross-checked with 16 seconds to go. The play continues and now stopped with 12 seconds left. Edmonton will get their first minor penalty of Game 7.
What a great job Dumba does here of fighting off a check in his own corner. He gets the glove tap there because of this play. Keeps the puck alive, and once you get it into Bjorkstrand's hands on that stretch pass, boy, this is as good as you can move that puck up the ice, and tries the deep. Excellent job. That's pretty good hands. You got to credit Jari with a terrific save there. And as that sequence continue, there's a penalty in front of the net. Winterhawks on the power play.
13 seconds to go in the period. Bjorkstrand for back of the net, throws it in front. Nobody there for Portland. Lazar gets it, sends it down the ice. That's going to do it for the period. 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second. And Game 7 has 1 period in the books. And the fans rise to their feet to salute the Winterhawks first period. They'll start most of the second period, the first 2 minutes, most of the first 2 on a power play. Shots on goal, 14-12 in favor of Portland. Andy Neal, over to you.
All right, thanks very much, Dan. Matt Dumba, who had the big 2-goal performance in Game 6. We'll talk with Stu Walters after the break. And inside the WHL with Peter Loubardias, the Winterhawks scoring first in all 4 home games. A 1-0 lead on Oliver Bjorkstrand, 16th of the playoffs. Here on Levitt Machinery, WHL on Shaw.
And welcome back to Portland, where after 20 minutes of play, the Winterhawks lead the Edmonton Oil Kings 1-0 in Game 7 of the WHL Championship Series. Here with Winterhawks defenseman Matt Dumba. And Matt, is it safe to say that maybe you guys brought some of that momentum forward from the third period last night and overtime into this first period tonight?
Yeah, for sure. That's a huge swing in the series, and we knew it could be pivotal, but at the same time, we try to stay even keel. You know, they're going to come out hard at us, and which they did, and we had to match that. And just what we did in the past, it means nothing if you don't do something tonight.
A couple of your snipers have been snake bitten so far through the series. Bjorkstrand, Patan, Lear to a degree. Bjorkstrand getting that goal, is it nice to see him get rewarded? You need that.
Oh, that's huge. When our forwards are scoring, it makes a world of a difference. And those guys, it's not like they haven't been getting opportunities or chances. Those guys have been working so hard, and hopefully it pays off tonight.
You were a star in Game 5. When you went to the ice, there were still a lot of fans at the Moda Center cheering you on. You gave them a bit of a gesture and said, we'll be back. Why did you believe that you'd be back for a Game 7?
I just have the utmost confidence and belief in this group, and it felt really good. I don't even know at the time. I kind of just blacked out, and here we are, and we're going to give them everything we got, and our fans are behind us, and it's just a great feeling.
Do you feel that you guys are able to kind of figure out what Edmonton's doing to you and perhaps stick to your pace of play?
Yeah, you got to play your game. You can't play their game. Everything that we've done this year, the systems, everything that we've gone over has gotten us here today, and just staying focused on that and just playing our game and believing in our systems.
Was there any big speeches before the game, Game 7? What does it mean to you to be in this situation?
I think everyone knew. Everyone knows what's on the line here, and there's guys who have been in these situations before. Personally, I've never been in a Game 7, and I just had to keep my mind straight and stay focused. And in between periods here, I'll get refocused and regroup again for another good period.
Matt, thanks for this. Good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you very much.
Guys, Matt Dumba of the Portland Winterhawks, and he does have 8 goals in the playoffs, 5 in this series. Let's head over to Andy Neal, Peter Loubardias, WHL Central.
Which is brought to you by Bobdale Gloves. Thank you kindly, Stu. Big 2-goal performance for Matt Dumba in Game 6. A big reason why we're here for Game 7.
Well, it's kind of a reflective night. It's an opportunity to watch young people grow, and it's funny, when I see Matt Dumba to our left there doing that interview, all I could think of actually tonight is the first time I ever watched him. It was at the Don Hartman Arena in the Alberta Cup tournament, and he was spectacular that particular spring going into the Western Hockey League Bantam draft. And now to think back to that night to tonight and all the steps, his time in the NHL, a member of Canada's national junior team, a leading scorer, the first defenseman to ever do that for Canada at the World Under-18 Championships in 2012. It's really neat to kind of see him, and I know him pretty well and his family, so kind of takes me all the way back to my first viewing. Boy, he's come a long way.
This is the 11th Game 7. Home teams are 10-0, and 2 years ago we had a dandy in Edmonton in 2012. You see any resemblance between tonight and then?
No, I really don't, because that night 2 years ago in Edmonton on that particular Sunday, it started early and Edmonton really was in control. They played almost a perfect game in that Game 7. Rhett Raczynski was so pivotal in that particular series. Remember, he scored the big overtime winner in Game 4 across the street to tie the series. Later it was Maxwell scoring. Christian Spels, God rest his soul, had 2 assists in that game. He was really important, and he's being remembered and has been since he passed away tragically. And there's Mark Pezic, who was really the true leader. He kept it all together. He was a +3 in that game. And Edmonton certainly started well and really never took their foot off the gas pedal that day.
Mark scored a big goal, game winner in game 1. It was late in that first game of the 2012 championship. That was a memorable series. We're in the midst of one here as it wraps up this evening. Brendan Burke, he comes in game 6, looks sharp, great save off Edgar Skalda. That was the big question coming off the last game.
Well, I've always thought that game 7, one-game showdowns, Memorial Cup finals, are unlike any other night, any other day. It can bring out the best, it can bring out sometimes the worst and the nerves, but he didn't seem to have many after replacing Corbin Bowes. This is a look back to game number 6 after replacing Bowes, who had gone all the way prior to the end of the first period in game number 6, and we might not have pictures to show you right now, but he was excellent in that opening period. He turned aside all 12 that he faced. He made a couple of really good saves. Certainly, Brendan Burke, who had been the starter all year, they ran with him early until into the Kelowna series when he was relieved heading into game 3 when Mike Johnson had a very similar situation. Do you go back to the guy that you put in, or do you go back to the guy who had kind of got you to this point? Well, Mike Johnson did exactly the same thing today that he did in the Kelowna series. The guy who he replaced started the next game.
Derek Pouliot, 3 more points last night in the game 6 win with the tying goal, 32 points. He's 2 off the defenseman record for scoring in one playoff. First defenseman in 15 years to 30.
He is in uncharted territory for the most part. The last Western Hockey League defenseman to have more than 31 points was a guy named Greg Hoggood of the Kamloops Blazers, who, by the way, had 100 in 4 playoff years. John Miner is the record holder. Pouliot ties the game, had 3 points on Sunday in the come-from-behind win. He started the overtime goal with a ring around the end boards that ended up on the stick of Turgeon and then Iverson, and he was able to chip it by Tristan Jarry. He's been an absolute treat to watch. So he's now 2 points shy of John Miner's all-time record set in 1984 of 34. And tonight will be his final Western Hockey League playoff game, his 85th, Andy. 2 shy of the all-time record held by Shea Stevenson of 87. And remember, he played in 5 Memorial Cup games, and if Portland can win tonight, he has a few more of those ahead of him too.
Quick timeout. We'll be back with Peter Labardius when we come back here in the first intermission. The Portland Winterhawks a 1-0 lead over the Edmonton Oil Kings in Game 7 on Levitt Machinery, WHL on Shaw. Well, the Portland Winterhawks still have 1:48 to work with on a power play to begin the second period. They have a 1-0 lead in Game 7 of the Scal Tire WHL Championship. Bob Dale Gloves WHL Central alongside Peter Labardius and Oliver Bjorkstrand. His 16th in the postseason, which is tops in that category. His first in the championship. That had to be a big monkey off his back.
Maybe a bit of a gorilla. However, if you've watched this series, you'd know that the 3rd-round pick of the Columbus Blue Jackets has not scored for lack of opportunities and lack of effort. There's little doubt in my mind this young man is going to play in the National Hockey League. He still has 1 year left as far as playing in this league, actually 2, but this guy's not going to be here as an overage player. He'll play for Denmark at the upcoming World Junior Hockey Championship, probably be on a line with a guy he's dealing with tonight on the other side of the fence in Mads Zeller. I love his approach to the game. He creates separation, and Andy, for the last couple of years, the one thing you can never miss with Bjorkstrand is how the puck explodes off his stick. And what a wrist shot to open the scoring just under 5 minutes into the opening frame. You kind of had a feeling there's no way he could get through this whole series without finding the net at least once.
What do you think of the rest of the period and how Edmonton responded?
I thought it was a really good response. In fact, Portland continued to carry the momentum for the next couple of minutes. Jarry held them in, made a couple of quality saves, but then Edmonton, I thought, got back to doing a lot of the things that allowed them to win 3 straight games and be oh so close yesterday to wrapping up a second Western Hockey League title in the last 3 years. Get pucks down deep, forecheck, be smart, structure. They felt like they really got away from their structure. Let's not kid anybody. They got excited yesterday. They're kids. We forget that. They're so good. They're so big. They're so talented, but they're still kids. And when you know you're in that position, it started bad in the third and they just couldn't reel it in. But when you think about, and I said this to you last night on the airplane, I don't remember ever a more devastating loss than the one the Oil Kings suffered last night. And the way they've bounced back is a true testament to their great coaching staff led by Derek Laxdal and a veteran group of players.
Trevor Reinhardt mentioned after the game that it was like they played to lose, but you know he's got the C in the leadership, being through this before in 2012. He's going to be a guy they're looking at in the dressing room to lead the way.
Well, if you're an Edmonton Oil Kings fan, you hope you still have a few more games to watch at this level in London. But for us, what a pleasure. Look at the disappointment. Look how much this young man cares. He has been spectacular. I don't know, there's not enough adjectives in my vernacular to come up with the right ones. Block shots. He's been a tower of strength. He's calm. He's poised. He's had edge in this series. He's scored a goal in a big time in this contest. And you'll see it right here. It came up in game number 5 that gave Edmonton in that night a 2-1 lead, and they went on to win game number 5. He's one of those guys, and there are many, and I've been very fortunate over all my time to watch some great players. But in many ways, thank you to Griffin Reinhardt, because it's been quite a ride. We've seen so many big games that he's played in, and I still kind of wonder a little bit, and you can never change the past, and in some cases, why would you? What might have happened last year had he been available in this championship affair? And I don't want to take anything away from Portland. They were fabulous.
Ticket to London still on the line this evening in Game 7 of the Western Hockey League Championship, presented by Cal Tire. 1-0 Portland leads. Second period is next.
Here we are. It says Winterhawks in 7. Well, it's going to be somebody in 7. Dan Russell back alongside Bill Wilms. 1 period in the books here at the Veteran Memorial Coliseum. 1 goal in the books, and it was an unassisted mark.
Yeah, and I think it's a pretty good period actually for both teams.
Yes.
And it starts right here. This is what the Portland Winterhawks do. Right side of your screen. That's number 18. That's a defenseman. Their rule of thumb is if you're ahead of foot forward, you join the attack every time. The Winterhawks will do that all game long. It presents a little bit of a different look. Keegan Iverson, left side, turnover to Lazar. Not on the right side. That's the way you chip it out. That was Bjorkstrand getting that puck out of their zone. Look at the Bjorkstrand goal coming up here. It is unassisted. He picked it up right in his own slot. There's the shot. There's the goal. And, you know, Peter talked about that explosive shot. Look at it. It just jumps off his stick. That's the 1-0 goal. Edmonton gets an opportunity here. The bench erupted, but on further review, that puck was kicked in by Lazar in front of the net. How about this? Very next shift. Where do you find Curtis Lazar? Corbin with the puck. Watch him. He's in his office right in front of the net. Again, trying to make something happen. And this is how close this shot came from trickling through and past Burke. Turnovers again. Neutral ice area. Vibros with a turnover. They are guilty of that. Great play there by Lazar. Gets it to Calda. That might have been the best scoring chance for the Edmonton Oil Kings all period.
But it was not their only chance. As you mentioned, both teams pretty happy with what happened in the first period. Portland more so with the Bjorkstrand goal. When leading after 1, Portland is 8-2 during these playoffs. When trailing after 1, Edmonton is 3-3. Now keep in mind, there's a power play to start this period. Fresh ice for the Portland Winterhawks. Virtually the first power play of the game, as it was about 15 seconds at the start or the end of the first period where they really didn't have much chance to set up. 3 for 25 in the series are the Winterhawks. Sondner has lots of time to put the puck down into the Portland zone, and Pouliot gobbles it up. WHL Defenseman of the Year, Derek Pouliot, out of his own zone to Brendan Leipzig. Nice pass. Patan just misses the far corner. Nick Patan that close from scoring his very first goal in a championship series. He has played, Patan, 71 playoff games. He's never scored in the final. Leipzig moving in. His shot. That goes off Jari, and now Patan behind the net for Bjorkstrand, who swings it around on this side for Dumba. Dumba plays it to Bjorkstrand, now Leipzig. Leipzig from back of the net. Patan to Dumba, fakes the one-timer, settles the puck down. And here's Pouliot. Long shot, knocked down. Dumba. Now Patan. Bjorkstrand standing in front. Leipzig's back of the net. Slow developing power play here. Patan gets it over to Dumba. Pouliot takes that pass. Kept to the outside. Dumba moving in, trying to switch it up a little bit. Dumba plays it down low. Patan leaves it for Leipzig. Leipzig gets it back for Patan. 20 seconds to go in the power play. Leipzig centering pass. Went off the stick, not out. Here's Patan winding up, fakes. Then he tries a pass, gets it back again. Does a little dipsy and doodling. Dumba now to Pouliot. Pouliot can't get the puck past Keyser. And Edmonton is going to get through this penalty. Samuelson brings it in over the line. Keyser heading to the net. He can't reach it. Penalty over. Edmonton back at full strength. And the game remains 1-0 in favor of the Winterhawks. Dumba puts that puck all the way down. Jari sweeps it. Petrick gets it out. Tekshira has it once more. Over on the far side, there's Parr. He can't gain the line, delayed offside. Now Portland tries again. Lear going in. Lear passes in front, and a good job by Lazar to get his stick in front of that one. Bittner puts it behind the net. Reinhart and Lear will battle. Delio trying to get out of the way of the referee, or vice versa. And now it's Edmonton able to lug it out and indeed send it all the way back inside the Portland end of the ice. Tekshira. Now behind the net, there's Parr. He'll slow it down and they'll come out. Wrong pass. Bittner has it go off his stick all the way back inside the Edmonton zone. Stretch pass. Robertson. One of his first shifts of the game. Turgeon in over the line. He can't come up with it. Here comes Robertson. 2-on-2 through the neutral zone with Keyser. In over the line. Robertson rolls it behind the net. Pouliot and Robertson collide. Cederholm gets the puck. Irving on the pinch. Can't keep the puck in for Edmonton. And Orban goes back deep in his own zone to collect the puck. Orban's pass. Now Bertolucci with it. Stretch pass on the far side. Mraz in front for Irving. A defenseman jumping in there. Couldn't quite handle the pass. Bertolucci down and back up again. And Cederholm way down there in the far corner being watched by Samuelson. Sontner has it now. Lead pass up for Kolda. Kolda in over the line. There's Mraz with it. Mraz in front, shoots, scores! Mitch Mraz has tied it for Edmonton. It's 1-1 early in the second period. Mraz scores the goal.
Well, this is nothing but a power move by Mitch Mraz. He comes down that right wing. This is what the Oilers love about him. This is why they've signed him. This is a big guy. One hand on the stick. Watch where he goes with it. He's going to push it right between a couple people. And there's a pretty good pick, if I might add, in front of the net. Right there by Kolda with a little drop pass back. Wow, that is a big move. And Kolda did a terrific job to recognize exactly where Mitch Mraz was going to go with that puck.
The sixth goal of the playoffs for Mraz. It comes at 3 minutes and 50 seconds of the second period in game number 7. Dumba can't control the puck. Lazar has it roll off his stick, and Leipzig will start back the other way. Way over on the far side. Kolda and Sontner getting the assists on that goal. Here comes Petrick. Lazar can't get his stick on that. Now he does, only briefly. Tekshira has it. This building is now pretty quiet after the Oil Kings start. Here's another chance. Petrick shoots. What a save by Burke. Off Reed. Petrick.
Levitt Machinery is a proud sponsor of WHL on Shaw. Need a lift? Stack it, reach it, lift it, Levitt.
Boy, we've talked about this all the time. When the Edmonton Oil Kings get their scores, their top 6 guys in those spots, they are a handful. Boy, you just can't take them for granted. And from the Edmonton standpoint, they've got to make sure they continue to create that traffic around the net.
Only 1 goal in the playoffs for Petrick. That was as good a chance as you can have. He had 18 goals during the regular season. Obviously, that would have been huge.
That's where you keep Portland back on their heels a bit.
Now back is Bjorkstrand. Bjorkstrand to Lear, trying to go around Mayo. Lear takes a shot, a riser off the shoulder of Jari. Lear gets the puck back again, tries to center it, could not. Mraz takes it off his stick. Mayo jumping up, Samuelson gloving it down, trying to come up with it. Henrik Samuelson playing his 60th career playoff game tonight. And what a series he's had, as he has 6 goals in this series. Mayo at the net, it's knocked down. There's going to be a penalty. Back to the referee has his arm up. Portland is going to be penalized, holding the infraction, and the Oil Kings are going to the power play.
Good traffic again in front of the net. You see the call. Pretty easy to recognize what that's all about, even if you don't follow officials in the Western Hockey League. Right in front of that, I think Mraz is in that area where he's been all night. That's where he's effective. That's where he's hauled down.
Oh boy, he sold that, Bill. Did he not?
Nice job.
Referee 100 feet away said, I'm putting my arm up. Referee closest did not. Edmonton on the power play to start early stages of this second period. As they start, because the Winterhawks actually started the period with the power play. Down the ice it goes, and Mayo has it. Mayo up there with Reinhart, Pollock, and Samuelson, and Lazar, and away they go. 1-1 ties. The puck broken up. Only one shorthanded goal all playoffs for Portland. And they led the league tied for first in the regular season. Reinhart puts the puck back in. They really haven't been much of a threat the last couple of games, although earlier on in the series looked like they were going to get a shorthanded goal from some of their chances. Samuelson. Now Mayo. Samuelson again off his half wall. Takes a shot. That's stopped by Burke. Comes over here. Mayo again trying to collect it. Lost it. Turgeon gets it. Shoots it down the ice for Portland. Jari with a long stretch pass up to Lazar. Lazar. Now Samuelson. Nice job off Weir to get the puck. Reinhart protecting it. Reinhart. Now to Corbett. Back for Reinhart. Moving in. Reinhart shoots. Up high. Tried to go on the short side up high. And he didn't miss by much. Now that one's deflected just off the target. Far from back of the net. Got it over to Dumba. And Dumba will shoot the puck out to the neutral zone with 36 seconds to go in the power play. 1-1 tie. Sontner with the puck. Ashton Sontner. 3 power play goals for him in the playoffs. Here's Petrick shooting it wide of the net. Well wide. Now Sontner to Corbett. Winding up. Shot. Oh, that didn't miss by too much. Corbett blasting it from the blue line. Dumba can't get his stick on it. Petrick on his backhand. Back out here to Corbett. Corbett takes a shot. That goes off a leg up high over top the Portland goal. Penalty nearly over. Delio trying to chase down the puck against Corbett. Corbett gets the puck up to the line. Penalty over. And Edmonton is now 0 for 2 with the man advantage. Although in their first power play they had one disallowed. Sontner with it. That pass broken up. Here comes Pouliot in over the line. Pouliot for Leipzig. Leipzig knocked off stride, knocked off the puck. Teaser goes back with Petrick. Petrick cutting in. Shoots. Saved by Burke. Rebound. Saved by Burke again, and he holds on. Penalties afterwards. Petrick and Teaser were in front. They were getting worked over. And there was retaliation as well. I would say Petrick will get one of them, but I would not think he's going by himself.
Derek Pouliot leads so many rushes. He and Leipzig get caught a little bit deep. Pouliot deep. A nice job by Keyser again, moving Leipzig off that puck. That allows this 2-on-1 rush. There's a shot, a couple chances, and then a lot of action in front of the net. But again, I keep referring to it, and they've done it all year. The Portland Winterhawks, the highest scoring team in the Western Hockey League since back about the 97-98 season. They play that up-tempo. They play the high octane. They do take chances. They win most of the chances they do take.
I was wrong. He did go to the penalty box by himself. It is a Portland power play. I thought they were going to even that one up. It's a Portland power play. It is their second man advantage. And that goes out of play.
And it's pretty simple what the power play is all about for the Portland Winterhawks. You want to get it on a Dumba stick. You want to get it on a Pouliot stick. He'll load it up. They'll fire it. And it's surprising how many times that those two guys on defense get into sweet spots. This is a penalty you were talking about. They thought they might even it up. They didn't. It's a Portland power play.
Dumba and Pouliot with power play goals yesterday. Here's Patan. Patan to Bjorkstrand. Bjorkstrand to Dumba, winding up. Pouliot now. Can't get the shot away. Called it in on him. Patan. Leipzig. Leipzig holds. Passes. Dumba shot, and that's turned aside. What a save there by Jari Dumba with a beautiful scoring opportunity for Portland. Called it shorthanded. Can't get that shot away, and Patan will start back the other way. I don't know if Jari got a piece of that or not. Leipzig. Gains the line. No, he doesn't. Dumba. They don't like to shoot it in. We know that. Bjorkstrand swings it down low. Leipzig in a battle. Reinhardt trying to get it. Corbin has it, and he sends it down the ice. Minute to go in the power play. Power play is brought to you by Days Inn. 34 hotels throughout Western Canada. Visit daysin.ca. Pouliot goes back, and here goes Leipzig. Leipzig, one move. Leipzig drop pass. Bjorkstrand to Dumba. Dumba way over there for Petan. Petan has Har at the point now. Petan throws it at the net. Jari with the save, blocker save. Eller picks it up. Half a minute to go in this power play as Eller cuts it shorthanded. Here's Lazar cutting in, shoots, scores! Lazar scores shorthanded for the Edmonton Oil Kings. And Edmonton has a 2-1 lead. And it's the Oil Kings that get the short-handed goal.
He plays in every situation, Curtis Lazar does. Plays power play, plays even strength. He plays short-handed. He'll capitalize on this good work by Mads Eller, number 20 there. And they catch Dumba, 24 deep. Talked about that all game. That puck ends up going right on Lazar's stick. And what a shot, what a release. We talk about the puck exploding off Bjorkstrand's stick. How about Curtis Lazar? Ties his game, or puts Edmonton rather ahead on a short-handed goal. This is pretty. Almost the same spot that Bjorkstrand scored the goal for the Portland Winterhawks. And the smile is back on his face.
Burke was fairly far back. It's a great shot, but he didn't charge out to cut down that angle. I don't know what you think about that. If you look at it again, Burke could have done more, but it is a great shot by a great shooter in Curtis Lazar, who gets his 10th of the playoffs. How huge. Lear moving in. Lear throws it in front. There's a player that's tripped up. Pouliot moves in, taking the shot away. Now it's Pouliot again and sails over top the net. Lear in possession. Penalty over. Petrick back on the ice. Not only they kill it, they get the short-handed marker, and the Oil Kings halfway through the hockey game have themselves a 2-1 lead. And here goes Petrick cutting in on goal. Petrick right in! Scores! It goes in! It gets past Burke and in the net, and it's 3-1 for the Edmonton Oil Kings in game number 7. Petrick just kept going and going and going, and there he gets one, his second of the playoffs.
And again, don't want to pick on him. Folks, believe me, he's going to be a National Hockey Leaguer big time. But watch number 24. That's Matt Dumba. He gets frozen at that blue line, and that just allows everybody to blow past him. And Petrick, who's been snake bit, hasn't had a lot of luck. Waits for that puck to settle down. Oh, it's still bouncing on him. He gets it flat right there. That was important that that puck lay flat when he goes to his backhand. I talked about Dumba last night, Dan. He was -3, but he was a huge factor on this hockey club. Right now, the Portland Winterhawks are in a hole.
This is unreal. 3 goals for Edmonton at the start of the second period. We're not even halfway through it. And there's a trip that does not get called. Portland gets away with a penalty. My goodness. Turgeon one-hands it in. He's trying to pick up the announcement. Samuelson might have got a point on that. Can't pick up the announcements here in the building. Now it's up the boards, and the Winterhawks have it in the neutral zone. But not for long. It's now Portland. As we see a glove hand pass, we're going to step aside. Man, oh man, a 3-goal period. 3 Edmonton players have scored. Mraz, Lazar, and now Petrick in game 7 on Shaw. Hockey fans stay the night at Northern Quest Resort and Casino. The Breakaway Hotel Package has a premium room with a king-size bed and an appetizer thrown in at Epic. If you'd like further details, go to northernquest.com.
Here on the bench with Derek Laxall, head coach of the Oil Kings. And Derek, 3 quick goals for you guys. Are you impressed with your team's energy on the road so far?
You know what? We got through that first 10 minutes in the first period. We're starting to find our legs now.
I know it's a team game, but can you talk about Lazar and Mraz and how big they've been as leaders?
Well, our big players got to step up, and we'll follow our leadership.
Thanks, Derek.
Thanks, dude.
Guys.
Well, we go back to the 3-1 goal. You get Nick Petan on defense. You get Garrett Har having to make a decision. And there's a good move, a great play by Petrick, and it's in the back of the net. An unbelievable 3 goals. Well, that's 9:42.
What do you think of Burke's performance on those goals? I thought he was a little far back on the Lazar one, and that one, obviously, he had to go past him.
I don't think he's challenging quite maybe the way you expect a 6'4" goaltender to challenge at this point. And you know what? I wouldn't be surprised. I thought the leash might be a little bit short. Corbin Bowes has been the guy that they've gone with most of the playoffs, and we'll have to see what happens here in the next little while.
3 goals on 15 shots for the Edmonton Oil Kings. And now the puck brought in over the line. Saunter trying to get it. He could not. Tipped out for the neutral zone, and here comes Petrick. Petrick back in with lots of room again. A shot, save, rebound, and that's pushed away. Put wide, actually. And it seems like Edmonton's bench is just all standing, brimming with confidence. The room they're getting just inside the Portland line at this stage is incredible. Getting a lot of passes to the net. Fans here getting very frustrated. There's Petan throwing it at the goal. That doesn't get there. Off the glass to the line. Bjorkstrand holding it. Now it's dumped by Petan. Behind the net, Leipzig tied up. Bjorkstrand back out to the line. Pouliot, long shot wide of the goal. Off the boards it goes once more. Cederholm just dumps it behind the net. Petan waiting for it there. Petan hit by Orban. Works free to Edmonton, and here's Lazar coming out. Curtis Lazar. Lead pass towards Calda. Missed him at the line, but Calda follows it up. Knocked off stride by Bjorkstrand. Here's a lead pass to Petan. Petan going in. The Oil Kings recovered very nicely and very quickly on that stretch pass up the ice. Pouliot turns, put it down low. It's Reinhart kicking it forward, and it's now Samuelsson with it. In over the line, Samuelsson tries to get it to Mraz. Behind the net it goes. Calda can't get his stick on it. There's Saunter with it. Saunter. Back of the net. Calda. Shot. That's knocked down. Centering pass. Samuelsson can't get his stick on it. Delio will knock it out for Portland. 7.5 minutes to go in the second period. How big is the next goal in this game? Reinhart. Off the far board, Samuelsson in the neutral zone. Reinhart following it up once more. Edmonton had those big leads yesterday. They've got a healthy lead of 2 goals, and they're looking for more now, and Burke makes the glove save and holds on.
You know, Derek Laxall just told Stu that he felt his team was getting their legs. They survived the first 10 minutes, but, you know, one of the transition plays that just happened where the Winterhawks come up the ice, you see all 4 Edmonton Oil Kings back. They're back in good positions. They're taking really good spots. I mean, here's a transition. They want to get it going. That's a pretty good stretch pass. And look at 1, 2, 3, 4. Everybody's back. When those transition plays end up in that corner and nothing happens, you know you've been playing pretty well defensively.
Corbett from the line. Big rebound off the pads of, or the chest protector of Burke. Right there in the slot area. Barr. His pass for Delio misses him. Down low, an opportunity to feed. Eller couldn't, and then that deflects out of play. What a turnaround again. How many twists and turns does this series have to have? Both teams have staged incredible turnarounds. Edmonton was down.
As you look, I mean, the save percentage down for Corbin Bowes is more than adequate. I think he just got pulled last night to just shake the bag up a little bit. And you look at Burke, 3 goals and 21 shots. Watch that scenario closely.
Bergeron tied up by Lazar. Petrick going in there as well. And there's Cederholm with the puck. Can't get it out. Goes back. Cederholm will try it this side once more. Now it's up for Turgeon. Turgeon in over the blue line. Iverson passes to Turgeon over top the net. Petrick tries to get it out. Cederholm sends it right back in again. Pollock on the far wing. Picks up the puck. Leipzig was watching him. Now a turnover in the neutral zone. Just barely onside. Petan holds. Pass shot. What a save by Jarry. And Jarry is there once more to stymie this top line for the Portland Winterhawks. When they do get an opportunity or two in this series, Jarry has made many of those kinds of saves. And that would have been a huge one for the Winterhawks. They keep going now. Leipzig all tied up. He's going to draw a penalty here. Leipzig take it down a second time. Will they call 1 or 2? Just for sure in a game 7, that's going to be 1 penalty. And it's Edmonton penalized. Mirage, you can see what he feels about this call.
Just prior to this call, Dan, Leipzig, Petan, Bjorkstrand, the three most dangerous forwards on this hockey club are going to find themselves in a pretty good spot. You turn that puck over there, this is what happens. What a nice little play to get it over to Leipzig there. Just great save, and on the penalty, on the back check. Not so sure that was necessary for Mitch Moroz. I'm not sure he knew how many guys were coming back to support him, saying, hey, I couldn't help it. My stick got in the way.
Third power play for the Portland Winterhawks. They push it forward. Bjorkstrand now back out to Dumba. Dumba to Pouliot. Pouliot to Dumba. Dumba back for Pouliot. Pouliot. Dumba. One-timer. Wide of the net. Rebound. They can't get the shot away. Leipzig from back of the net. Centering pass sticks in the way for Edmonton. Good job by the Oil Kings to get it out to the neutral zone. Half-minute gone in the power play. Just over 5 to go in the second period. Pouliot shoots the puck in. Reinhardt shoots it out and down the ice.
With frustration as you see Tarek Pouliot having to go back for the puck, banging his stick a little bit. They don't like to see this power play skating 200 feet the other way, doing wind sprints.
In over the blue line, Bjorkstrand making moves, still making moves, stops, puts on the brakes. Back it goes to Pouliot. Dumba over on the far side. Looks like they're going to switch places. Dumba took the pass in his skates. Now Pouliot over there for Petan. Petan. Dumba shoots way up high. That hits Calda and deflects out of play.
And even there, you see Oliver Bjorkstrand enter the zone, and you know this Edmonton team on the penalty kill, they forced Bjorkstrand to probably his third option. He didn't want his. I mean, he's not anxious to get that puck back to the point unless there's somebody really wide open back there, and he wants to get it to the net. He wants to get it to somebody in front of the net, and he's had to go back to the point a couple times.
Just under a minute remaining in the power play. Delio and Lazar scheduled to take the face-off. Delio wins it. Back it comes. Har doesn't get the shot away. Turgeon. Now Har does shoot, but again, the high man right there. How many times in this series has that first man for Edmonton blocked the point shot on a Portland power play? Most recently, that was Keezer. Har brings it in. Off the stick. Edmonton just thwarts them time and time and time again. I know they got 2 power play goals yesterday, but up until then, they had 1 power play goal in the entire series. Har, drop pass, Delio, again, off his stick just as he met the line. Gets it back again, Delio. Chainborn, over to Har. You've got to be so crisp against Edmonton. You make 1 poor pass, and they're in, and get a good opportunity to break it out. Here's Har, winding up, shot wide of the net, and out of the penalty box. This could be dangerous. It's Moroz, and there are 2 other Oil Kings with him, but he couldn't get it past Turgeon. And then another miscue in the neutral zone as Samuelson goes in for a long shot, blocker away by Burke, and Delio gets it to Lear. 3.5 minutes to go in the second period. The Oil Kings trail 1-0 after 1. 3 quick goals to start this second period, including a short-handed marker. Cederholm going wide. Cederholm keeps on going. Then his backhand off the end of the stick, and he couldn't make it happen. Back the other way, Bertolucci gaining some speed, throws it in front, and there's Burke over on the other side making the save off Eller. Cederholm nearly stripped of the puck. Eller going in, and he's taken off the puck by Pouliot. Chainborn trying to gain the line. Chainborn lost it. Corbett starts back the other way. Winterhawks, Cederholm fell. It's a 3-on-1. Bertolucci in front of the net. Shot, score! Eller makes it 4-1 for the Edmonton Oil Kings. Mads Eller scoring the goal after one of the Portland defensemen fell in the neutral zone, and it's a huge second period for Edmonton.
You know, I think that Mike Johnson had Anton Cederholm on the ice with that long change. I thought he had to get off. He couldn't. That's what happens. He made a bad decision earlier, and well, that was Dumba falling on that. I thought it was number 2, but again, Dumba been on the ice for a number of goals against. Nothing's going right for him. Although Matt Dumba's so focused in the offensive zone, he slid into the good areas to try to get shots. And what a nice job by Bertolucci. Lifts that puck, just gets it over top of Pouliot's stick. And Matt Zeller, we've talked so much about Matt Zeller. He's been so effective for this team. He gives them a 4-1 lead.
So Eller at 17-17. Bertolucci and Corbett getting the assists. And the Oil Kings, who yesterday had 2 3-goal leads, virtually get away from them. Certainly the second one did. They have a 3-goal lead the very next night on the road in this atmosphere, in a series that just has been completely unpredictable. Calder moving in, another chance for Edmonton. They are just flying now, the Oil Kings are. Sontner in the neutral zone goes back to chase it down. Sontner puts it off the boards, around on the far side. Bjorkstrand has it. Bjorkstrand opened the scoring in this game at the 4:42 mark of the first period, and the Winterhawks have not scored since. And here's Dumba now at the line, winding up for a shot, and that was off the skate of Calda and on a play.
Boy, Derek Laxdal's team has gone right back to that structure. You know, those layers of defense that we have. You know, there's numbers in the neutral ice area. He gets inside position in the offensive zone, and they're getting goaltending. All of those things have been so important for his hockey club. Not to say that they're not getting some pretty good offense as well. Explosive second period here offensively for the Oil Kings, but their structure is what's most impressive.
Edmonton has outshot Portland 12-7 here in the second period with 1:39 to go. And it's a stunned crowd, to say the least. As stunned, I'm sure, as the Rexall crowd was yesterday afternoon in Edmonton. Corbett around the boards and down the ice it goes. Pouliot giving chase. Cederholm with it once more. Cederholm, lead pass. And that's 4 goals on 26 shots by Edmonton.
You know, we talked about the message that was delivered in all likelihood in both dressing rooms, but the one that's identical message for both is what a privilege it is to play in Game 7 in the Western Hockey League Final. And I'm sure both coaches said, tonight's a night, guys, you'll never forget for the rest of your life. Go out, enjoy it, have fun, and just enjoy the atmosphere in this building. And right now it's Edmonton having a little bit more fun with a 4-1 lead.
Pouliot with the puck as we get closer to 1 minute remaining in the period. Here's Keyser going in, Bertolucci going to the front of the net. Takes a swat at it, goes up high and out of play.
Luke Bertolucci, boy, has he been effective for this hockey club. Can't say enough for number 11 and what he's brought to the table. Every single game he comes, he plays. He's got 6 goals in 63 games during the season. What's he sitting on 6 right now? And it's obviously one of those guys. It's a nice surprise come playoff time. Seems like every series somebody elevates and is a bit of a surprise. That's the guy right now.
Buchanan, Lazar battling in the circle. Pouliot plays it around this near side. Comes out to the line. Reinhart holding it in, and now Dumba steals it. Tries to send Portland back the other way. Back check, Dumba trying to get it off Pollock now. Dumba stripped of the puck again, and there's a good save off Lazar. Dumba having a nightmarish period at times here for Portland.
This is Matt Dumba trying to do everything by himself on the ice. There's no structure in this game at all. He turned it over in the neutral ice area, went to chase it back, delivered the punch, turned it over in that spot. You know, the Minnesota Wild want to see this guy play a lot of 2-1 games and 3-2 games. They want to see his defense. They're not terribly interested in Matt Dumba's offense. They know what he can do. He loves to play those 5-4, 6-5 wins, but he's got to play that tight one. Defensively, he's been a bit of a risk tonight.
Half a minute to go in a huge second period for the Oil Kings. And again, they're going to go into the dressing room for the second straight day. Into the room after 2 periods thinking, wow, we have a 3-goal lead, and if we just win the period, tie, or even lose the period by 2, we'll win the Ed Chanel's Cup. 11 seconds to go. It looks like a 3-goal lead for Edmonton after 2.
They deserved it. Let's be honest. They've capitalized. They've been tougher defensively, getting a pretty nice performance from their goaltender Chris Jarry. Maybe, just maybe, he would want to have that Bjorkstrand 1-0 goal with Portland open the scoring. But you know, we showed you that shot. We showed you the explosiveness of it, and there's not a lot of goaltenders going to make that save very often. But it's been almost perfect for the Oil Kings so far, almost 340.
Winterhawks gain the line, but nothing doing there. Keyser gets the puck. that's it. Mraz at 350. Lazar at 902. Petrick at 942. And then Eller at 17-17. It doesn't get any better than that if you're an Edmonton Oil Kings fan. 4-1 after 2 in game number 7. Andy, over to you.
All right, thanks very much, Dan. We'll hear from Henrik Samuelsson of the Edmonton Oil Kings. We'll talk with Stu Walters. Conversation with Travis Green, the former head coach and GM of the Portland Winterhawks, and inside the WHL with Peter Labardius. 4 in the middle frame for the Edmonton Oil Kings, who have, again, a 3-goal lead through 40 here on Levitt Machinery, WHL on Shaw.
And welcome back to Portland, where after 40 minutes of play, the Edmonton Oil Kings leading the Portland Winterhawks by a score of 4-1 in Game 7 of this WHL final series. Happy to be joined now by Oil Kings forward Henrik Samuelsson. And Henrik, what can you say about that second period where you guys scored 3 quick ones and then added another one late, 4-1 lead right now?
Yeah, it was huge. We've been playing good through the second period all series, and we continue to do that tonight. We just got to continue it in the third period now.
Was it important as well not to implode in the first period when you gave up the first one and also had to deal with a disallowed goal?
Yeah, that just shows the character of our team. We didn't let it get to us too bad when the goal was disallowed. We'd had a couple of those this series, and it just truly shows the character of our team.
You're the leading point getter on your team, 6 goals through 6 games in this series so far. How much confidence are you playing with?
Yeah, the guys on my team are getting me the puck this series, and I've been lucky enough to get a few goals here, so it's my confidence is high right now.
What about your line, Mraz, Calder, we've even seen Lazar, some of the veterans step up, and is that a strategy, Henrik, going to the net, playing heavy?
Yeah, that's the type of style we're going to have to play to beat this team in the third period, so we're just going to try to continue to do that in the third period.
Your second Game 7 of a WHL final, did that help you with some of that experience coming into tonight and maybe settle some of the guys down?
Yeah, for sure. We have a few guys that were here in Game 7 and a lot of guys last year that know the feeling of losing in the final round, so it's we have a lot of experience on this team that's really showing off right now.
All right, quickly, Henrik, you were in a similar position last night going into the third with a 3-goal lead. Your coach thought you guys kind of shrunk and sat back a little bit. How do you make sure you don't do that tonight?
We're not going to change up our forecheck here. We're going to stay with our aggressive forecheck. We changed it last night in the third period, but we're not going to do it tonight.
All right, Henrik, thanks for your time. Good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you.
Henrik Samuelsson of the Edmonton Oil Kings, a 4-1 lead through 40 minutes of play, playing his 60th career playoff game tonight. Let's over to WHL Central, Andy and Peter.
All right, thanks very much to Bobdale Gloves, WHL Central. Pleased to be joined with a familiar face here in Portland, Travis Green, the former head coach and GM of the Winterhawks last year, taking them to a championship. You're here for Game 7. Sold out crowd. What have you thought tonight through 2 periods of play?
Well, I obviously liked the way Portland started the game. I thought Edmonton got a momentum shift out of their power play. And the second period, Edmonton had a real good period. Like we've seen in this series so far, Portland's going to have to get going again and hopefully make another comeback.
You're Mike Johnston. What are you saying in the room right now?
Well, I think their game's got to get a little more direct. They got to get some more pucks to the net. I'm guessing the ice is not too great right now with the way pucks are bouncing out there. So they've got to find a way to get pucks to the net and try to get that next goal and start to put some pressure on.
Is there a big difference between the ice conditions here compared to the Moda Center?
It was hit and miss. Usually the ice is in this building is pretty good, but you can feel that it's pretty warm in here tonight. So it looks like there's a lot of pucks bouncing around tonight.
Travis, you're the head coach of the Utica Comets, Vancouver's AHL farm team. How's the adjustment been to life there in New York?
It's been good. It was a jump that I thought was time to make. And, we came up short from the playoffs here, but I really liked the way a lot of our players developed this year. And I really enjoyed the league. It was challenging at times, but from a coaching standpoint, it was good for me. And I really enjoyed it, though. The players were, you're dealing with a lot of older players now. I do miss a lot of the players here. I came back tonight to watch Game 7 because I got a lot of take in this team, and I feel like I know the players and obviously a lot of good friends in the coaching staff.
You're a former pro player, so what's the difference of dealing with the adults and the grown men and professionals compared to the juniors?
There's not a lot of big differences. I tried to deal with our guys the same way we dealt with our players in Portland. Treat them with respect, be honest with them. And, I always find that approach works best at any level. But, there are differences. You're not dealing with 16 to 20-year-olds anymore. You're dealing with 20 to 35-year-old men. But in many ways, they're still boys trying to play a game that they love. So I think communication is a big part of it, and that's the way I approached it.
The Winterhawks was such a tremendous team last year. That top four defense was just incredible last year, led by Seth Jones, and obviously Rankowski and Wotherspoon and Pouliot as well. But what Mike Johnston has done to rebuild this team for the championship, what do you think of how he was able to bring the team back to the championships this year?
Well, it's been amazing. Like you said, Mike Johnston's done an incredible job here in Portland. And for them to get back here for a fourth straight year really says a lot about him. They made a great trade in picking up Dumba. I really thought it solidified their back end. And, anytime you can get back to a finals 4 years in a row, it doesn't happen very often in any league, and really says a lot about Mike.
I wanted to ask you about Derek Pouliot, first defenseman in 15 years to 30 points. He's close to the defenseman scoring record in one playoff year. What about his growth and what you've seen from the Pittsburgh prospect?
Well, he's a very skilled young man. We knew that when he came in at 15 years old. He's highly gifted, has a great hockey sense, and we've watched him mature over the years to where he is right now. To see him lead the playoffs in scoring, is it surprising to us? In a way, or to me, but with his skill level, nothing surprising, and I look forward to watching him progress down the road.
Travis, appreciate the time. All the best and enjoy the third period.
All right, well, thanks for having me.
Travis Green, the head coach of the Utica Comets of the AHL, Vancouver's farm team. Back with Peter Labardius when we come back here in the second intermission. Edmonton with a 4-1 lead in Game 7. 11 Machinery, WHL on Shaw. Well, the second straight night, the Edmonton Oil Kings with a 3-goal lead, 20 minutes away from their second Edge and Health Cup championship in 3 years. Can Portland pull off the comeback again less than 24 hours after they did it an evening ago in Edmonton in Game 6? Bob Dale Gloves, WHL Central inside the WHL with Peter Labardius. And here we are again, Edmonton with a 3-goal cushion, 4-1, but a big second period. Much different than last night, it seems, as far as their play and just the confidence that they're playing with. Well,
they really pushed, and one of the ringleaders, and he has the go-ahead goal in the game, is truly their best player, in my opinion, at least up front. It's Lazar and Reinhart. We'll continue to talk more about them, but Lazar, I watched him this morning, Andy. The team got together for a meeting here. I have never seen Curtis Lazar as focused as he was today. Normally he's at the rink, and we always talk about that smile. And it wasn't that he wasn't smiling. He sat across the way in a chair, sat there literally almost by himself for 15 minutes. And boy, has he come to play. What a goal. Great push to the right, throws it back upstairs. Caught Burke a little bit high, but this guy's been amazing. Even the goal he scores yesterday, he starts the play on the forecheck, goes to the net, receives the pass from Petrick. This his third consecutive league championship series. Remember in year one in 2012 when they won the league, this guy was just a 16-year-old hockey player and he had 19 points. He continues to add to it. You could just tell in the morning he was going to be a very, very good player.
One player we were wondering about too was his response as Tristan Jarry in goal, and in that second period he made an enormous save point blank on Brendan Leipzig, which I would think has to give him all kinds of confidence now going to the third.
Well, it is, and he'll have a second period intermission to chew on, and yet everything you hear about Tristan Jarry is he's unflappable. He doesn't let the previous day, the previous goal bother him, and if you're Edmonton as a group in that room right now, in some ways, this probably has to work for you now as opposed to against you coming in, that you've been here. So don't get away from your structure. Keep going because, and I'm going to say it, Portland's going to have a third period push. And it will be up to Edmonton again to see how they can handle it and weather the storm.
Well, you've been to a number of Game 7s. Where does this one so far rank? But you've been to many.
Well, I feel like I'm bad luck because this will mark the fourth of the last 5 Game 7s that I've been lucky enough. I was at the 94 game between Saskatoon and Kamloops, won by Kamloops 8-1. I missed that game in 2007, which was the greatest of all time. The double overtime in the fog in Medicine Hat. I was at the 93 game in Swift Current when Portland lost to Swift Current. So it seems like, needless to say, I was at the 2012 game, won 4-1 by Edmonton. So maybe I need to stay away. However, as we saw yesterday, a lot can happen in 20 minutes and maybe more.
That was a great story you were telling about that Fog Bowl game in Medicine Hat you were watching and thought about changing your flight plans.
Well, I did. I was working for a different network at the time, and I made my way on that Monday to Vancouver to get ready for our broadcast at the time of the Memorial Cup, and I did. I struggled with changing my flight about 4 times, so I watched this from my Vancouver hotel room and was upset all night long because I wasn't in the building to see Brian Bosch end the greatest Game 7 in league history about 10 minutes into double overtime with that wrist shot that beat Tyson Sexsmith and that great Medicine Hat Arena, which pretty soon we're going to say goodbye to.
Well, we should be in for a whale of a third period here in Game 7 of this Cal Tire WHL Championship. The Denny's Player Spotlight this evening is from the Portland Winterhawks, and Keegan Iverson, the hero of Game 6. Last night he scored his second of the series. He's got 4 goals and 8 points. That's actually Turgeon, the picture of, but Iverson is the spotlight this evening.
Well, he has a 3 on his jersey, too. I could see how it could happen.
That's right. St. Louis Park, Minnesota is where Iverson is from, 85th ranked by NHL Central Scouting. And he also plays on his line, too. Well, can Portland pull it off? They did it last night in a 3-goal deficit, down 4-1 in Game 7. Third period is next.
2 years ago when Edmonton won Game 7, the final score was Edmonton 4 and Portland 1. That's where we sit right now after a period that featured as good a structure, probably, Bill, as you can see a team have.
Absolutely, and that structure, we talked about it all series, leads to the offense. This is pretty good structure in the neutral ice area. Exactly what Edmonton has to do. And a power move by Lazar getting to that spot. Watch the little pass that Calda does. Right here is coming up. He puts it right on the tee. Beautiful little pass by Calda. That tied it at 1. Again, penalty kill. You got to have structure. Here it is. And again, Mayo wins that race to that puck. You got to have that. You get Patan back on defense. He's no defenseman back there. He doesn't do much help. Eller to Lazard's 2-1. Crossover hard. Can't get the right guy either. Again, how about 3? Look at the structure of the Edmonton Oil Kings. Now you get the third Portland Winterhawk go deep. Iverson there. Right to Keyser. Beautiful alley-oop play. Get it over top of everybody. And Petrick does the rest on himself. That made it 3-1. Beautiful goal. The pad just can't get out there far enough. And even the forward, look at the structure. Look at all of the Edmonton Oil Kings in perfect position. Corbett breaks the play up, gets it wide. Dumba falls in the blue line area. And it's a great play by Bertolucci to Eller. And that's the 4-1 goal. But Dan, every one of those goals is set up by just being in the right position defensively. And it's funny how that works.
So there's your scoring, the 4 goals for the Edmonton Oil Kings. We were remarking before that how Portland had scored the previous 5 goals. It's almost like basketball. It's a series of runs right now. 5 in a row for Portland, now 4 in a row on that goalie who stays in. Burke, the goaltender, at one end, Jari at the other end. Jari's been the goalie the entire distance for the Edmonton Oil Kings. I thought if Mike Johnston was going to make a goaltending change tonight, it might have been after the Petrick goal, the 3-1 goal at 9:42 of the period. He didn't. Bose, we're told, has been fighting flu for at least 10 days. And there's the smile of Curtis Lazar. The Oil Kings, probably the best thing that happened to them is that they had a 3-goal lead in this situation yesterday. We'll see how that plays out. I may eat those words, but I kind of feel when you have a second chance the very next day to protect the 3-goal lead, and you heard Henrik Samuelsson talk to Stu Walters between periods about the forecheck they employed yesterday versus what he says they're going to employ here. I got a feeling that the Oil Kings are going to keep this going. But huge ovation for the Winterhawks as they came out. They had the big motivating speech between periods last night. Let's see how it turns out tonight. Game number 7, third period underway here from Portland, Oregon. It's Lear hitting the blue line. Lear knocked off the puck and out to the neutral zone it goes. Cederholm sends it back in. Jari gloves it down, and he leaves it for Curtis Lazar. Lazar to Mayo. Which one's the defenseman? Mayo goes in. He dumps it back behind the Portland net. Lear gets it for Delio. Delio to Bjorkstrand. Bjorkstrand hitting the line. Moving in. Still Bjorkstrand with the puck. Back around the net he goes. When he scored in the first period, he got the feeling that as Patan takes a shot, rebound off the goalpost. The rebound hit the goalpost. Dumba shot. Knocked down in front. Backhand turnaround pass in front for Leipzig. Dumped. There'll be a penalty on Edmonton. Edmonton, and the Winterhawks came very close to making it a 2-goal game.
Levitt Machinery's WHL on Shaw is brought to you by Levitt Machinery, online at levittmachinery.com.
Two pretty consistent for the Portland Winterhawks is that Oliver Bjorkstrand's going to have that puck on a stick somewhere on the ice, and Matt Dumba is going to get into a pretty good scoring chance somewhere around the net. Good save, and then the rebound again, the second chance right off the post. Good start here by the Winterhawks.
Winterhawks on the power play for the 3rd time in this. Check that, the 4th time in this hockey game. They're 0 for 3, and in the series are now 3 for 28. Bjorkstrand going wide, and now Dumba will play it over to Pouliot. Moving in, Pouliot shoots it up high. Off the glass it goes. As they battle in the far corner, Calder trying to get his stick on it. Saunders will have lots of room, and he just calmly sends it down the ice for Edmonton. 40 seconds gone in the power play. Matt Dumba. Nick Patan hits the line. No further, it's dumped out by Edmonton, and Dumba plays it cross ice for Haar. Haar forced all the way back. The Portland Winterhawks have never won a Game 7. They're 0 for 3 in Game 7s. Iverson has to go off his skate. Eller taken down by Iverson. Puck squirting free. Samuelson can't get it out the first time. Now it's a breakaway for Eller, shorthanded. Could it be the second of the night? Saved by Burke. Rebound off him, off the line. Stays out, and they're banging at the puck. Samuelson and Eller. That was so close. It had Burke beaten, and it somehow stayed out.
They talk about Mads Eller and his speed. It is absolutely center stage right here. A little chip out to get it over everybody's stick. The race is on. There's the shot. Now he's going to follow it up and try to get it somewhere into the paint area. It hits off the post, hits off the goaltender Burke, and then it's cleared off almost off the goal line.
Iverson clearing it. The overtime hero last night is the defensive hero on that play. That would have been lights out, 5-1. Short-handed, another dagger. Remains 4-1. Pouliot gains the line no further. So both teams with a golden chance at the start of this period. A goal post for Portland, and then that one there, short-handed for Edmonton. Bjorkstrand for Leipzig. Broken up, and Calda will start back. Penalty nearly over. Calda going right in on goal, and he puts it wide. Another short-handed chance for the Edmonton Oil Kings.
And it all resulted with great defensive play as they stood Leipzig up just inside the blue line.
Here's Dumba moving in. Matt Dumba going wide, drops it back for Leipzig. Puck does not get through, and here comes Edmonton. Keyser, who's out of the penalty box now, and he'll roll the puck in. Well, that's a big kill for Edmonton at the start of this period. Last night when they were down by 3, Pouliot scored on the power play. There's a turnover. Keyser shot, saved by Burke. Another turnover. Corbett shot, that's knocked down. Another shot, that's knocked down. And when Pouliot scored, we said, well, there's 17 long minutes to go, and it would have been a similar situation had Portland been able to cash in on that power play. So knock that one off the list for Edmonton as they kill that one early in the period. And the score remains 4-1 here in game number 7. That's icing.
I thought the Winterhawks did a terrific job, or pardon me, the Oil Kings of, stymieing any play that went across the line. Leipzig twice couldn't get free. And if you get Leipzig about 20 feet inside the blue line and let him get it off to one side, that whole line goes to work offensively. Bjorkstrand, Patan, and Leipzig, and they just haven't been given that chance.
Portland trying to get it out. Edmonton is out of their own zone. Asking us to fill in the MVP ballots here. That's always hard to do while the game's underway. Now here's Lear. Lear getting the puck. It's Irving clearing it out to center. Teixeira has it now. Irving from deep in his own zone. Building again very, very quiet. The Winterhawks, very similar to game number 5. In game 5, they only had the 1 goal till late, and then they got one to make it 3-2 in the last minute. Here they have one goal in this building tonight, and it was the opening goal. Bittner in over the line. Lear passes it. Intercepted, and Griffin Reinhart lead pass up for Samuelson. Samuelson trying to follow it up. He could not. Turgeon starts back the other way. Turgeon backhands it in. D. Champlain heading to the corner. Tries to backhand it out, but there's all the Oil Kings with it. And away they go. Mraz in over the line. Mraz trying to throw it in front. He could not. Calda staying with it. Calda will dump it back behind the net, but Pouliot intercepts there. Cederholm has it once more. Now Mraz off the corner boards. Now Iverson gets it up to D. Champlain, but Sautner intercepts, plays it cross ice. That structure just continuing for the Oil Kings here at the start of the period. And they look like a team right now that has learned their lessons about a 3-goal lead yesterday. Let's see if that continues as Bjorkstrand goes in. Bjorkstrand from back of the net. Puts it towards the line. That's intercepted, and away they go. Ehlers without a stick. No penalty there. And the puck goes to Bjorkstrand. He's taken off it by Bertolucci. Bertolucci. Wrap-around attempt, and Burke makes the save holding that one. Corbett from this point winds up for a shot. That's knocked down. Corbett again puts it back behind the net. Eller has it. The Oil Kings doing great work on this shift. Bjorkstrand gets possession of the puck. He gets it out. And Nick Patan putting on the brakes in the neutral zone is hit, but he moved the puck to Bjorkstrand. In over the line. Bjorkstrand shot. A riser, and Jari gloves it and holds it.
Well, that time can't tick fast enough for Derek Laxdal and his Edmonton Oil Kings. But again, you talked about it, Dan. It's just been non-stop structure. There's just those layers of defense that you got to penetrate when Derek Laxdal's team is on full mode. When they've got that system, that structure working, the puck supported. It always feels like there's one extra player on the ice. If you're the guy with the Portland Winterhawks with the puck, one more guy to beat. It's just you just don't have any room.
Lear has the puck, long shot that goes off the target. Well, not all the Portland fans are unhappy. Right across the parking lot, the Trailblazers are leading at halftime, we're told. In a game they face elimination. Two Portland teams facing elimination tonight.
Remember, the Portland Winterhawks were 29 wins and 6 losses on home ice. They're 9-1 in the playoffs. Edmonton's come in here, and after giving up a 1-0 lead on the Oliver Bjorkstrand goal, it's been all Oil Kings. They said this last night, and I'll say it again, when the team in red, when Edmonton can settle in, that's the key word. When they settle in, they're a team that's comfortable when they're working hard. And you see that all the time with those kind of teams that, you know, play that gritty, hard game. They love to play, love to protect the puck.
Bouncing in the neutral zone, 7 minutes into the third period. The original Oil Kings. That's the Portland Winterhawks. When they moved from Edmonton, this is the building they moved into. And now the modern day Oil Kings, 13 minutes away from celebrating a championship in this very building.
There you go. All the home teams.
Maybe not tonight.
Maybe not tonight. It's been home ice. The home team has won every game 7, folks. And their Edmonton Oil Kings are 13 minutes and 1 second away.
There's a chance in front. They bang it, puck. No goal, no goal. They're celebrating. No goal. Jari holds another one out for the Oil Kings. We'll have to get a good look as to how he held it out, but he barely did.
That puck ends up going over top of Jari, if I'm not mistaken. And I have no idea how it stays out in that situation. And Johnson having a look to see, maybe want another look at it, but it is a deflection, as there often are in those situations there. Watch where the puck goes and ends up.
The stick in the net, that's certainly not a puck on that look. Puck in the air.
Let me put it to you this way. Not Patan.
How it stays out.
Not Patan, not Leipzig are getting what you call a good look at that scoring chance.
They're going to look at it, and they'll have a good look up here in the video replay area. We still haven't seen the overhead on our telecast. That will probably tell us way more of the story. All we've seen so far is the butt end of a stick with flat tape go into the net. Apparently we do not, unfortunately, have an overhead, but they do. That's the brain trust again. And they'll look at this and see what happens here.
What is the call on the ice? I think the call on the ice is no goal, so it has to be overruled. I think he's pointing, Kevin Mensch right there, I think he's pointing at the black thing. That's probably the tip of the stick that we saw in our replay. But if it is a goal, again, it's not the kind of goals the Portland Winterhawks are used to scoring.
They'll take it, though.
They'll take it, boy. They'll take it big time. Patan celebrates right off the bat.
So hard with that one stick there. But again, we don't have the overhead. They do.
Leipzig has a pretty good look at it. He's trying to sell it, but then he's not sure. When you watch Leipzig raise his stick in that situation, he looks back down again and say, well, maybe I'm not right. Maybe it isn't it.
Looks like no goal.
No, and it would have to be overturned, and there wasn't enough evidence for that.
So one replay has gone Edmonton's way, that one. And one did not earlier, and they shook that one off. And now, as you look at the body language of Mike Johnston, his concern very evident on his face. With 12:55 to go. It's a couple of bullets Edmonton has dodged here. That very close call, a goal post early, a power play early, but yet they maintain their 4-1 lead. And here's Sotner looking to add to it. Long shot deflects on the way. Now Miraz from back of the net. Clever little move there. Grinding away is Miraz, as he does very, very well. Dumba starts back. Leipzig takes the pass. Dumba charging to race in and join the rush. High backhand over here for Patan as he knocked it down. Patan ran out of options, and he got a high stick up in the face of one of the Oil Kings, and maybe they were trying to sell that. No penalty called as the puck bounces to Bertolucci. He brings it in over the line. Bertolucci going in, and then he's taken out hard on the end board, stays on his feet, gets the puck to Eller, at least briefly. Keys are in there as well. Bertolucci comes up with the puck. You know they love doing this on this line. Shot! That's turned aside. Work the cycle, keep the puck down there, keep the spirit out of the Portland offense. Iverson gets the puck, and then it's shot down the ice by Edmonton. 8.5 minutes gone in the third period of Game 7. Teixeira offside.
Keone Teixeira with that wonderful goal last night. Pretty impressive young hockey player. In his draft year, he was one of the 3 best bantams in the draft in the U.S. And, he was headed for college. There's no question about it, but signed with the Western Hockey League. I thought he was a terrific goal scorer last night. He could have gone to any U.S. college that he wanted. Chose the Western Hockey League, and you can see at 6 foot, 194 pounds, the 6-year-old's a terrific skater.
Puck bouncing around, shot in by Pollock, and Burke from back of the net. Plays it around the boards on the far side. People will be wondering in Portland, did Mike Johnston start the right goalie here in game number 7? Did he stay with the right goalie halfway through game number 7? Leave that for the pundits to judge. Teixeira, long pass up to Lear, that deflects in. Building so quiet, so noisy, of course, at the start of Game 7, especially after that miracle comeback yesterday. Here's Samuelson's shot wide of the net. Miraz. He can't keep it cleanly, but right now the Oil Kings very satisfied with exactly where that puck is. As we near the midway mark of the third period, Reinhart keeping the puck in. Griffin Reinhart holding it, passing it to Miraz. Off his stick, Miraz goes around the back of the net, throws it in front, and Bittner has it. Bittner getting the puck and shooting it in. Well, when you're trailing by 3, the travel and the 3 games in 4 nights makes it seem like it's a much more uphill battle. You feel more tired, and playing this Edmonton team can make you feel tired. Bjorkstrand in over the line. Shot, turn aside, rebound, sharp angle by Patan. Doesn't get the shot to the net. Mayo, he can't get it either. Here's Corbett with it now. Out it goes and down the ice, and this will be icing, and when we come back, we'll find out if the Edmonton Oil Kings can win their second Ed Chanel trophy in the last 3 years. It's 4-1 Edmonton in the third period of Game 7 on Shaw.
Winterhawks got exactly the start they needed tonight with Oliver Bjorkstrand with a great individual effort. 4:42 in. After that, period number 2, 4 goals. Mitch Moroz ties it at 1. And how about Curtis Lazar? That's a shorthanded goal. He gives him the 2-1 lead. 40 seconds later, that might be the backbreaker. Reed Petrick. And then what a pass by Bertolucci to Matt Zeller, the 4-1 goal. In that second period, Edmonton, get this, outshot the Portland Winterhawks 15-5. And Corbin Bowes can't believe what he's seeing. That emotional speech he delivered yesterday to his team in between periods to help them win that game.
One of the 3 20-year-olds whose major junior season will come to an end unless his team was to rally. And keep in mind, this is the 4th straight championship series for Portland, and they've only, well, I say only, they have 1 win, but if they lose, it'll be 1-3 in the last 4 finals. And the Ed Chanel Trophy, which was presented next door to Kootenay back in 2011, might be presented over here in 2014.
You know, you got to remember, too, the Eastern Conference has won the Western Hockey League title 2010, 2011, 2012. It was last year that the Winterhawks from the Western Conference done it. So Edmonton trying to keep a pretty, I won't say string, but a pretty impressive situation as far as wins by the Eastern Conference alive.
From back of the net, Petrick gets the puck. Couldn't maintain possession. Lear in over the blue line. Lear trying to go wide on Sautner. Lear from back of the net has it roll off his stick. And there's that structure again. They just bring you around and then wait for you to get the puck and dump it out. 9 minutes to go in the third period for the Edmonton Oil Kings. They had a terrific 5-year plan. Did it include a 7-year plan with 2 championships? They won in year 5, and this is their 7th year, and they're 851 away from hoisting the Chanel Cup.
Interesting, too, Dan. We talked about Corbin Bowes and the speech he delivered. How about Tyler Santos? Go back 3 or 4 games, and apparently he was so vociferous on the bench. He was a big inspiration. He's the backup goalie for the Edmonton Oil Kings. So backups are getting some credit for, well, I mean, there you go. He's still cheering. The 19-year-old from Sherwood Park.
In 1983, Portland lost Game 7 to Swift Current. In 87, they lost Game 7 to Medicine Hat. 2 years ago, they lost Game 7 to Edmonton. This could be 0-4 in Game 7s for the Winterhawks. Talking about the championship series, of course. Fans still trying to will them to within 2 goals. Right now, the bounce seems out of the step of the Portland team. They were flying yesterday in the third period. They found their stride, and Edmonton has taken it right back from them.
When you take a look at the Edmonton top 6, and that's Pollock, Lazar, Petrick, Kolda, Samuelson, and Moroz, 17 goals in this series. That's just incredible. And when you look at the top 4, if you will, for Portland, Bjorkstrand, Lear, Patan, and Leipzig, a total of 2. Wow. That's been a big, big difference. The heavy lifters, the big guys, the Alberta Beef has really done a nice job.
Well, you said yesterday before the telecast, Bill, that whoever wins this title will be so deserving of it. And remember, Edmonton was down 2 games to nothing. They were down 2 goals to nothing in Game 3, and they completely reversed it. And then yesterday, Portland looked like they had reversed it. And Edmonton comes right back here tonight, and they grab it once more. Up 4-1 with 7:53 to go. Here comes Lear, poked off his stick. And another one poked off Lear's stick. Petrick just working and working. Delayed offside.
How hard do you think Lear had to work there to try to get that puck in? Couldn't get it, had to retreat outside the line, and that's the green light right now for the Edmonton Oil Kings to just get it deep again.
Could be 3 straight road wins. Games 5, 6, and 7 in 3 different buildings. Edmonton winning at Moda, Portland winning at Rexall, Edmonton winning tonight here with 7 minutes to go at the Veterans Memorial Coliseum, where the Beatles once played, believe it or not, in 1965 when this building was 5 years old. In fact, they staged a doubleheader here. Top price was, wait for it, $6 to see the Beatles a few years ago.
Was it a good deal?
I think it was probably a pretty good deal.
Or was it half to even that?
Still probably a pretty good deal. Here's Calder coming off the corner, boards, and he's hit by Teixeira. Calder trying to get back up once more. Samuelson in there. He can't get it in front. Winterhawks coming out of their own zone. Here's Iverson with speed, moving in. Iverson backhanded, wide of the net, taken off the stick, but turn around by Rosick. No, threw it in front. There was Dunbo over there. He couldn't get it cleanly. Then a shot goes off the stick. That went wide. Off the boards, it goes to Jari, and he covers it up.
I said last night that Keegan Iverson was the first player in Portland Winterhawk history to wear number 13. I know he said his goal last night was the biggest of his life, and certainly was for his mom, I'm sure, but it was also for his close friend, Jack Jablonski, his best friend from Minnesota. He's in a wheelchair, a spinal cord injury. He was hit from behind, one of the worst I have ever seen on YouTube. And you know, the Chicago-Minnesota game the other night, they wheeled Jablonski out in Minneapolis, and he was a guy on the PA that said, let's play hockey. He's made some wonderful improvement. In fact, he's really astonished the medical fraternity, but Keegan Iverson doing that for his best friend back in St. Louis Park, Minnesota.
Meantime, Bertolucci has a shot that goes over top the net. Dumba starting back for the Winterhawks. Dumba for Patan. Patan will send it in deep. 5:40 to go. What do you think about the goalie coming out? You know he's coming out, as long as it stays 4-1. A little early yet, but given the fact that Portland only has the one goal.
Boy, they've ripped the heart right out of this Portland team, haven't they?
More than one time in the series. This is the second time they've ripped their heart out. Here's a breakaway for Bittner. Stopped by Jari. One move, two moves, three moves. Jari stayed with it, and he got his pad on it. Made another timely save for Edmonton.
Nice job by Haar to realize as he skates backwards up against the wall, he's in a good position. Haar is 18 here to read the ice, looks it, scans it, catches a guy breaking into the seam. Really nice job by Bittner, the big forward from Crookston, Minnesota. And again, for my money, I'll tip my hat. One of the saves for my most valuable player of this series.
Puck flipped out to the neutral zone. And now there's just over 5 minutes remaining as the Oil Kings come in with Lazar. You joined us late. Portland led 1-0 after one. Edmonton scored 4 times in the second period. Here's Reinhart. Reinhart gets it to Lazar. Shot knocked down. And now it goes to Lear. Up it goes Bittner, trying to follow it up. Bittner with a lot of goals in this series, especially in the early going. Hit 4. Keezer moving in for a shot that goes off an ankle. And Haar's got it. Out to center. Nowhere to go with it. Mayo has it once more. Mayo to Calda. Calda flips it in over the line. Marat's giving chase. In front of the net is Samuelson. Marat's shot is stopped by Burke. Samuelson dumps it down low. Here comes Patan, stripped of the puck. That's sort of synonymous with this entire series at times. The skill guys just can't get going. They can't find the room. They can't get by the sticks of the Edmonton Oil Kings. Or the bodies.
Boy, they've been in the face, absolutely in the face of this Winterhawk team. And again, you know, Edmonton having lost those first two. Boy, I told a lot of people were saying this series isn't coming back to Portland, but there's interference on the goaltender. Now, by the sounds of the applause, it might be
Lazar going to the box.
Yeah.
And they call it a hit from behind or an interference. Could be Jari getting the...
I think it is. Well, what can you...
Get the goalie out now, yes?
Well, you got to. Yeah, no question. It's a very, very good call. Get out of my way.
16:09 of the period. Jari takes the penalty, and this will be the 5th power play for the Portland Winterhawks. And there's the empty net, 6 attackers, and this is sort of last chance time now for the Portland team. A wonderful season, and yet down 4-1 with 3:40 remaining. Patan has it down low. Lear swings it in front, right past everybody. Pouliot now with it. Pouliot moving in, gets it to Dumba. Dumba, down it goes. Nick Patan. Lear, Leipzig shot, scores! Leipzig with 3:22 to go. It's now Edmonton 4 and Portland 2.
They finally get the puck into a position where if Leipzig gets it on his stick, he's not going to need a lot of time to release it. You don't have to be too fancy. You got that extra attacker. You're on the power play. Get it deep and get it into the slot. And it doesn't matter that Reinhart, Sautner, two of the best defensemen for this team, are on the penalty kill. It's very, very difficult to stop Brendan Leipzig when he gets it on his stick in that area right there.
16:38, time of the goal, 14th of the playoffs for Leipzig from Lear and Patan. And we'll see what happens now. Patan goes in, passes it right to Mraz, who falls, but he gets the puck out to the neutral zone. 3 minutes and 5 seconds remain. Bjorkstrand in over the line. There goes the goal. The extra attacker once more. Bjorkstrand from back of the net. Samuelsson has it. Lots of room for Samuelsson to flip it out. Comes out in the neutral zone. Pouliot tied up. Does a good job to get it to Leipzig. Lights it to Dumba, to Patan, and his stick is lifted. Good stick lifter right there for the Edmonton Oil Kings. Winterhawks trying to draw to within 1. Wouldn't this be something in this series? Do you count anything out of the equation? Shot in. Jari in the trapezoid. Reinhart working over Leipzig. It goes to Bjorkstrand, throwing it in front. Shot goes high and wide. Comes around the boards out here to Pouliot. Pouliot gets it now for Leipzig. Shot at the net. Block it away right to the Oil Kings. And they get it out to the blue line. And Lazar gets it now inside the Portland zone with 2 minutes and 7 seconds remaining in the 3rd period of Game 7. Edmonton, not far away from winning their 2nd title in 3 years. Sent back into the Portland zone. Haar back to get it. Haar being watched closely. Petrick knocked it off his stick. Turgeon trying to get it up the boards. Lear forced back. 1:45 to go. Lear one move. Fans making the most noise they have since the 1st period as it's shot in. Shot around the boards. Teixeira can't hold it. Down the ice it goes. No icing. Teixeira back to get it. 1:30 to go in Game 7. Haar starting back for the Winterhawks. Pass in the center ice area to Delio. One move. Taken down by Bertolucci. Sautner's going to have room over there to backhand it down the ice, but he's on his own side. That's icing with 1:13 left.
I thought Sautner would put a lot less on that. He's talking about that right now with Reinhart. Reinhart saying, you know what, just a little easier on that. Just had to get it off the boards into the center ice area. He put a little bit too much on it. Minute 13.
Timeout. Remember, the Portland Winterhawks, 44 wins and 5 losses since January 11th. And Bill, looks like they, unless they have another miracle up their sleeve, 4 of the last 5. That's amazing.
It really is incredible. And you got to credit Mike Johnson. He's been positive through all of it. He's felt his team had plenty of scoring chances. Even in Game 5 that they lost here in Portland, he thought it was just a matter of time till they capitalized. Well, they did last night. In my opinion, I thought Portland did a great job of capitalizing, albeit they left it very, very late in the hockey game into the 3rd period. But again, and they capitalized early tonight. They got a goal off from a guy that I thought had to score, and that was Bjorkstrand. But they just haven't been able to do anything beyond that to penetrate this Edmonton Oil King defense.
The sellout crowd is now all on their feet, or virtually all of them. 1:13 to go. And the puck is won by Portland. Pouliot Down low it goes. Lear around the boards. Here's Patan with it. Patan tied up. Lazar hit as he got the puck out to the neutral zone. There is 1 minute left in the third period. Leipzig in over the line, going to the net. Leipzig shot. Jari with the save, and he holds on.
You know, that's pretty important that Jari makes that save. Not too much stopping the puck, that the Portland Winterhawks don't get a second chance at it. Again, so much started by Pouliot. And again, Leipzig cutting out wide. And, you know, look at it. I mean, it just absorbs it. That's important right there. That rebound's not going anywhere.
53 seconds remain, and Edmonton looked like they were going to get that face off. Somebody moved too soon. Some time did go off the clock, and the referee's over there to put it right back on again, I believe. Tristan Jari taking over from Laurent Brossoit. That close away from a title. Does not come out. Bjorkstrand keeps it in. Shot. Misses the far corner. Pouliot on the pinch. Can't get there and is knocked out with 40 seconds to go. Oil Kings 2-goal lead. Dunba at center. Pass nearly broken up. It goes in deep. Sontner turns. Tries to clear. Cannot. Lear throws it in front. Intercepted. Reinhardt gets it out to center. 24 seconds to go. Dunba with it. Dunba. Slap shot. Save. Jari puts it down. He'll send it, or try to. He gave it away, and the puck is clear. Leipzig shoots. Knocked down. Rebound. Oh, it's swept away. 10 seconds to go. At the goaltender again. Jari makes the save, and the Edmonton Oil Kings start celebrating at the bench. They've done it. The Oil Kings have won the Ed Chenault Cup for the second time in 3 years. Edmonton are the champions.
Tell you what, that coaching staff, pretty impressive. Got to credit Derek Laxdal for a lot of this success. Said right at the start of the playoffs, his team lost 10 players from last year's team, and they're the Ed Chenault Trophy winners 1 year later.
Celebration, stunning the crowd. This is not what they expected as you look at the young man they were honoring who lost his life last summer. Former teammate Christian Pelge. They've been playing for him all along. One of the scratch players brought his jersey out. There's Mike Johnston looking on. What must be going through his mind? 3 times in the last 4 years they've been in the final on the losing end of the handshake. They had the happy moment last year. Now they watch the Oil Kings as his team, Mike Johnston's team, waits on pretty much all of them on one knee at the other end or at the bench. Heads hung low, watching their dream of winning the Chenault Cup and possibly the Memorial Cup come to an end. Edmonton going to London, Ontario for the Memorial Cup, which will start this coming Friday. They were the underdog coming into this series. There was no question about it. The Eastern Conference did not seem as strong from top to bottom than the West. And yet this team at the very top, they are led by Reinhardt on the handshake. He and Leipzig come together, and there they go. The handshake, 3 meetings in 3 years between these two teams. The maximum possible games, as we mentioned earlier, was 21. They played 20 of them. And get this, Portland won 10 of them, Edmonton won 10 of them, but 2 of those 10 were series clinchers, including this Game 7 tonight, as the Oil Kings win the Chenault Cup, Year 5 and Year 7. What a job by this organization, and no one, Bill, at the beginning of the year thought really this was possible.
Oh, they were coming off back-to-back 50-win seasons, put another 50 in there this season. And I got to believe that Derek Laxdal's got to be considered absolutely without question for a job at the next level. You know, Dan, this series, I said it earlier tonight, offense wins games, defense wins championships, and I have to again defer to the latter. I've always felt that way. I've always felt defense is what you have to win a title, and his team there has been able to do it.
Let's hear from the captain. Here's Stu.
Thanks very much, Dan, with Griffin Reinhart. And Griffin, your second overall WHL title. How does this feel tonight?
It's surreal. I knew it was going to be a tough series coming in. We all did. Thought we could have had it last night, and we learned from a mistake and bared down today and got it.
Resolve and resiliency have been words to describe your team, especially even going down 1-0 tonight, a disallowed goal. What can you say about your team's efforts scrapping back tonight?
Yeah, for sure. We've been good at that all year. This team's got great character. We never give up. Showed that in a series down 2-0, down 2-0 the third game as well, and came back, and we always have a response.
Griffin, what switched in Game 3 that allowed you guys to dictate the pace of play going forward?
You know what? We came at them. We didn't sit back and wait to see what was going to happen this series. We played with a lot of structure and tried to limit the turnovers.
What can you say about your goaltender, Tristan Jarry?
I mean, he's a great goalie. He's had a hell of a series, hell of a year. Has a lot of character too, showing a little body check in the end here, going for the empty net, but we didn't be where we are.
One more before you can go celebrate with your teammates. Look forward to heading to the Memorial Cup in London, Ontario this coming weekend.
Yeah, for sure. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to prepare this week, enjoy it, and business again next week.
And congratulations. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Guys, let's head over to, back up to Dan.
Yes, Stu, we have it here. I think Peter's also ready with a guest star. Are we going to send it down to you, Peter? Go ahead.
Thanks so much. I'm with one of the stars of this particular series, Curtis Lazar. Curtis, a devastating Game 6 loss last night. I saw you this morning. I've never seen you look as focused as you did sitting over there. What was going through your mind, and what allowed this group to come back from that?
I mean, there's nothing better than a Game 7, and being down 2-0 these guys, there's no doubt we're going to win this, and that's something that it shows a lot about those guys and the character we have. We knew we were going to win this, and it took 7 games. I mean, we'd have loved to wrap it up last night, but we're warriors and we showed a way to win.
Talk about your very pivotal shorthanded goal that gave your team a 2-1 lead.
Yeah, I mean, great play by Matt Zeller. He was buzzing that entire shift, and we thought we'd try and pressure him a little bit. And I mean, he put a little drop pass there. I saw my spot and just found a way.
How is it feeling right now? I know you've been through it before, but the way this thing started, to find a way through all the twists and turns, have you ever been involved in a series like?
Not at all. I mean, huge props to the Portland Winterhawks too. I mean, 3 years in a row here, that's been a battle. They're great competitors. I mean, hats off to them.
Congratulations. Good luck in London.
Thank you very much. Curtis
Lazar, guys. Great players do great things on big stages. I don't think you could have asked for much more from number 27.
Closing ceremonies of the WHL Championship Series. And now for the official closing ceremonies of the 2014 Western Hockey League Championship Series. Please welcome the following dignitaries who will be participating in tonight's closing ceremonies. Representing the Western Hockey League, let's give a Portland welcome to WHL Commissioner Mr. Ron Robinson and WHL Vice President of Hockey Operations Mr. Richard Goodson. The WHL Playoffs Most Valuable Player Award is presented to the individual judged to be the most outstanding player during all 4 rounds of the WHL Playoffs. The Most Valuable Player Award for the 2014 WHL Player is number 8, Griffin Reinhart. We would now ask the alternate captains of the WHL Champion Edmonton Oil Kings to come forward for the official presentation of the WHL Championship Series commemorative plaques. Mr.
Chanel Cup to come out, and there's Lazar getting his plaque. And you know, this Oil King team, Bill, you talked about it before. You had the greatest offense versus the greatest defensive structure. And what's that old adage about what wins at this time of year in almost every sport? The defense wins titles.
3 pretty key guys there, isn't it? Riley Keyser, what a job he did. But Curtis Lazar, you know, to play in the National Hockey League, well, you can't pick your spots or when you're going to play. You have to play in every spot. And I don't know if anybody does it better in the Western Hockey League than Curtis Lazar. What a horse he is, what a likable guy, and what an inspiration number 27 is to that hockey team.
Well, there it is. That's what they've been playing for. The Ed Chanel Cup is making its way onto the ice surface, and it is going to be presented to the Edmonton Oil Kings. Reinhart, I love that pick as most valuable player, and he'll be able to lift this as the team captain. And remember, he didn't play in the series last year. A lot of people think he would. Well, of course he would have made a difference. Would he made the difference? That's an answer no one will ever have. But he sure was a difference maker here. And here comes Griffin Reinhart to be presented with the Ed Chanel Trophy.
You just get a feeling he's the center piece of all of that structure, don't you? It all kind of revolves around him.
And here's the photograph that everybody loves. The commissioner, Ron Robinson, posing with the team captain, and then he's going to say, take it away, it's all yours. And Griffin, you kiss it and you lift it, because you are a champion in the city of champions. It's another one on the big Edmonton list. The Oil Kings are getting their hands again on this Ed Chanel Cup.
Tables reversed. They watched Portland win it last year in Edmonton.
Those that were not hoping for a three-peat 2 months ago, they're saying, we've seen it before, we've seen it before. They saw a 7-gamer tonight. And here's the winning coach with Stu Walters.
Yeah, thanks very much, Dan, with Derek Blackstall. And Derek, quite simply, congratulations. And what can you say about your team's effort tonight on the road?
Absolutely gutsy. The effort after they came out in the first 10 minutes, guys settled down, and just an unbelievable effort from that standpoint on to finish it out. What can you say about our team? Resilient.
Yeah, we talked about resolve and resiliency, especially even after going down one and the disallowed goal for this team not to maybe even implode.
Well, not only that, the game last night being down 2-0 in the series says a lot about this hockey club. We're excited, you know, especially what happened last night. We're bringing that trophy home, Edmonton. We're bringing it home.
And Derek, I don't want to get too much into X and O's, but what clicked ahead of Game 3 that allowed you guys to kind of dictate the pace of play in this series going forward?
You know what? You got to look back to Luke Bertolucci's goal. That unbelievable effort there to make it 2-2, and then we won the game. But our kids, they've been outstanding. Great for them, and what a story.
You told me before the series started that Tristan Jarry would be, you know, you lived and died with him all season long. He'd be a big story. Can you talk about his play during this series?
Well, it's his team now. The throne's been handed over from LB. Jarry's won his championship. He's been outstanding. Now we move on to the next event.
All right, can you enjoy this tonight and then tomorrow start for London?
We fly tomorrow or Wednesday. We go home tomorrow morning. So it's a quick turnaround. Wouldn't want any other way.
All right, Derek, thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks, Stu. Appreciate it.
All right, Dan and Bill, back to you.
Yes, indeed. And, you know, that Bertolucci goal, if you recall, going back to Game 3, he gets sprung loose in the neutral zone. He's hit from behind by Dumba. He gets back up just inside the blue line and goes right to the net and scores. Rexall goes crazy. The bench erupts, and that's the moment Derek Blackstall said, we believe that we can win this series. Peter, let's go over to you with Cody Corbett. Go ahead, Peter.
Cole Benson is receiving quite a round of applause. Cody, the first team ever to win a Game 7 on the road. What allowed you to do that?
Point the camera at those guys right there. Our team. I mean, we came out and we gave ourselves a chance. I mean, that was it. We gave ourselves a chance to win, and that's what we did.
You talked to me this morning about staying with your structure and what for a number of games you had done well, and yet you gave up the first goal and again didn't let it phase you. Where does that intestinal strength come from with this group?
I don't. That's a tough question, but I'd have to say our coaches. They do a great job of rallying us. No matter what happens, no matter if we get down, and even us old guys, the core group, really get the guys going in the locker room, and we did anything tonight, and we found a way.
They're all special. Not many people play this game and win twice as you were able to do, and yet this year my guess is maybe even more special because of the role you've been in.
Yeah, definitely. Coming into this year, they told me that I was going to be a key player on the team, and right from the get-go I pictured myself doing that, hoisting the cup above my head and knowing that I had a huge part in a huge role this year, and so did every guy holding the cup today.
Go enjoy, my friend, and best of luck in London.
Thank you.
Cody Corbett signed this year and a two-time champion. I don't think it gets much better than that.
And when you want a 20-year-old coming back like Cody Corbett, and all he does is set franchise records for defense in goals and points, that's pretty special.
You know, Laxdal just took the trophy. Remember, he won with Portland here in '83. So what might he be feeling on the ice? The coaching staff now gets their turn with it. Mr. Hamilton, and you know what? Also, we have to give credit to General Manager Randy Hanch, who succeeded Bob Green. And I know Bob Green's smiling, the architect of this team, but you know, they passed the torch not from just the goalie, LB, Laurent Brossois, to Jari, but they passed the torch in the GM's office, building this club. So congratulations to Randy Hanch and his front office team as the Oil Kings celebrate this championship on enemy ice. Now, will you take 4 in a row, Bill? Or is that asking too much? The rubber match has been determined, yes?
Yeah, no, it has that. Nothing surprises me anymore when you're talking about the Portland Winterhawks and you're talking about the Edmonton Oil Kings, two of the class teams in the Western Hockey League. And, you know, we said it so many times, it's so important. The sequence is always there. For me, I go back to Roger Nielsen, what he said, the 4 requirements you have to win a championship. Number 1, you got to be tough enough. That group there is a physically tough team. You got to be able to win on the road. Goodness knows they've done that. You got to defend the lead. Boy, they were
not yesterday.
Yeah, they didn't yesterday, but they did
sure
other
did
games
today.
that they won, and you got to come from behind, and they were able to do that.
Well,
and that's regardless of how you draw X's and O's, it always comes down to that bottom line.
I made this point. There's by the way, the great photo, and I've said this before. It's the Edmonton Oilers who invented this photo that the players in all hockey levels cherish the most. The team photo with the championship on the ice, and there it is. Everybody putting up, we're number 1, and the big smile of Lazar has 25 people around him with equally big smiles on their face. But the Oil Kings, you know, they figured this thing out. There were so many twists and turns. I think, Bill, and I'm trying to make this point in the 3rd period, and of course you never know what's going to happen, but probably the best thing that happened to Edmonton was the way they lost yesterday in terms of protecting that lead again today. They get a mulligan, if you will, to have a 3-goal lead going. You're not going to blow 2 3-goal leads after 2 periods, 2 nights in a row. I don't care who you're playing.
Well, I felt, you know, that they weren't going to spend a whole lot of time worrying about what happened last night. They just knew that if that same situation was presented again, that they had lived through it. They were going to be able to survive. And, you know, it's a credit to the coaching staff. I think Derek Laxdal, I think he told our Stu Walters, he talked about the fact that they weren't even paying any attention to last night's game. They just said, "Hey, it's over, it's done with. Let's just get out, play our game today, get the job done."
Now Stu has Mitch Mraz, and Mraz, Stu, is holding a jersey that means so much to their whole group.
Yeah, Christian Pels, the late Christian Pels. And do you want to just first off start by Mitch talking about what this jersey means to you and your teammates?
It means a lot. He's right there when we go out for games, and he gave us a lot of motivation and helped us win this game. I was praying to him all game. I knew he'd help us out.
He's no doubt upstairs looking down. Do you think he's smiling?
100%, no doubt.
What does this win, your 2nd WHL championship, what does that mean to you this evening?
It's amazing. I'm so proud of these guys. everything we've been through, losing last night, getting another chance to do it on their ice, feels great.
Everyone's talking about resiliency, not many giving you a chance after dropping the first 2 games in Portland. How much character does this team have?
The most in the league, most in the world. I'm so proud of these guys. We were resilient, battled back from 2-0, and get to Game 7. We knew we were Game 17. We knew the boys would battle here and get the win.
I've been asking the guys, I don't want to get too X and O on anyone, but where did this series shift? How did it change where you guys started dictating play?
We just focused on pushing, not letting them wind it up, and not letting them play their game. So,
Mitch, looking forward to heading over to London for the weekend for the Memorial Cup.
Yeah, we got one more goal.
All right, good stuff. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Let's head over to Peter Labardius, guys.
Well, you guys, Bill and Dan mentioned one of the architects, and Randy Hanch in his first year, and has done such an unbelievable job of building a team that has been in a league final 3 years in a row, has now won it. What can you say about this performance in particular, coming off one of, frankly, the most devastating losses I've seen in a big game, maybe ever?
Well, I just have to say it's a true character win for our kids. We're certainly proud as an organization. It was a tough loss last night, and I want to congratulate the Portland Winterhawks. They're a very talented team and a good team, and they came in and battled back twice last night and won. And it was a tough loss, but our kids, they're resilient throughout the year, and they just stayed with it. And we kind of sensed, them coming around on the bus, coming from the hotel, airport to the hotel last night, and just this morning they just had a little bit more jump and energy, and I'm just proud of them. I really am. It's a proud moment for the kids and the organization.
What does it say about your coaching staff and that inner core of leaders on this team?
Well, the coaching staff done a great job. They kept everything focused with the kids. They got them going again today, and that's a tough thing. Like you touched on it, it's a tough loss last night, but they kept everybody going, and the kids bought in, and can't say enough from the coaching staff, the training staff, the players. The billets back in Edmonton, they take care of our kids, and they're a big part of it, and we had some good notes from everybody and a lot of encouragement. And, I also got to congratulate Greener. He left a good template here, and I was fortunate to work with him over the years, and we just kind of followed what was left, and just fortunate to be here.
I can't let you go without asking you one more. Every series has twists and turns. This one had a pile of them, and yet sometimes, certain players don't get a lot of credit. I thought your third line of Keyser, Bertolucci, and Eller were one of the true key factors. Did you see it that way?
Definitely. They just grinded things out, and then they created some opportunities, when they could, and they capitalized, and they just played a big part, and they're not easy to play against. And what they also do is they allow other guys to get some minutes of rest, and but in saying that, they just battled through, and as you touched on, they weren't easy to play against, and they played a lot of key minutes, against a very good Portland team.
Well, congratulations. Enjoy the next couple of days, and then your stomach can start turning again about Saturday.
Yeah, pretty well. Thanks, Peter.
Thank you. Randy Hanch, the general manager. It's okay. We don't mind if guys through the middle of the shots. They're champions for the second time in 3 years.
And what an outfit they are. There they are taking some more photos, and boy, that was touching hearing Mitch Mraz talk about Christian Pelge, and a great post-game moment with Stu there. And, you just know he's going to bring that jersey to London, Ontario as well. Christian has to travel with them.
Yeah, no question. The momentum swings in this series were monumental, and it's so important to have that resiliency, to have that ability to change momentum. I mean, sometimes it happens 2 or 3 times in a period. And I thought, and there, by the way, Blake Orban, who would have ever thought starting the season with the Vancouver Giants, he'd be one day this year holding the Ed Chanel Cup. But they were able to make all the adjustments. And Dan, I honestly thought it started with Derek Laxdal. The more I watched him, the more I saw him on the bench, the more focused he was. I didn't see him I didn't see Derek Laxdal upset very much. I didn't see he handled all of the punches, the kicked in goal by Samuelson that was disallowed. There was a goal here tonight disallowed. He never got off focus, and that filtered right down to his hockey club, and that's why they're holding that trophy.
They are, and for the Portland Winterhawks, they will be having a long summer, obviously, thinking that this was their year. But no, it was the Edmonton Oil Kings' year again. Edmonton 4, Portland 2, the champions, the Kings, of the WHL with the Chenoweth Trophy. Stay tuned, more to come.
The Oil Kings are...
Well, the home team won the first 4 games of the 2014 WHL Championship presented by Cal Tire, but it's the road team that takes the final 3, and the Edmonton Oil Kings for the second time in 3 years are the WHL champions. They're off to London and the MasterCard Memorial Cup heading out on Wednesday, so it's a quick turnaround for the Oil Kings, but a big performance. They got the 3-goal lead that they blew last night. They come back with a 3-goal lead to go into the third this evening and just seemed like they were more assertive protecting it tonight.
They learned from what happened last night. They never got away from their game plan, their structure, what allowed them to turn a 2-0 deficit and a 2-0 deficit into game number 3, 2 being within 20 minutes yesterday. Andy, in many ways, it's one of the most impressive big game performances I have ever witnessed in this league. When you think of what this team had to come off of, being that close, in your own building, the party almost getting ready to begin, a 5-2 lead, and find a way to come into this hostile environment 24 hours later and do it the way they had to do it, and gave up the first goal and did not let it faze them. Against a great Portland Winterhawks team, have to give them all the credit in the world. What talent, what ability, what a job they've done here with Mike Johnston and crew. 4 times in a row, Andy, had not happened since the new Westminster Bruins of 75, 76, 77, and 78, when that group won 4 straight league titles.
Yeah. Hard to believe that the team that scored first in the series lost 4 times in the series as well. Griffin Reinhart, the playoff MVP, another solid performance this evening for the captain.
Well, we've seen his last Western Hockey League appearance. We will see him again at the Memorial Cup in London, but as I said earlier tonight on this particular broadcast, what a pleasure it has been to watch him for the last 4 years. There's absolutely no doubt in my mind he will start next season in the National Hockey League. There has been some rumblings that certain teams might be interested in acquiring his services. If I'm the New York Islanders, I don't let that guy go.
Yeah. Well, the Edmonton Oil Kings, the second time that they've won a Game 7 over the Portland Winterhawks. They do it on the road, the first road team to be able to pull that off. Dave, are we ready for that interview now? We're going to hear from Mike Johnston, the head coach and general manager of the Portland Winterhawks, for his take on this 7-game series. Just an unexpected series, the comebacks that we had throughout. So, Stu, we are good to go. All right, over to Stu Walters. Stu.
All right, guys, thanks very much. And Mike Johnston, classy enough to join us in defeat. Mike, just want to ask you how you thought the tonight's game played out, especially after perhaps maybe getting the start you wanted.
Yeah, I thought in the first 10 minutes, especially getting Bjorkstrand's goal, we know that he was sort of due in the series, but he's such a great player. We knew he'd finally convert. I thought it gave us some momentum, but after the disallowed goal, I thought they started to take over in the first, and certainly the key turning point in the game was the second period. We made some mistakes. We had some situations where Dumba caught an edge and fell down. They got a 2-on-1, and they made us pay on those.
Your thoughts on the overall series, and perhaps you spoke about momentum, perhaps where the momentum started maybe changing a little bit in Edmonton's favor.
Yeah, I thought their second goal in the second period, I thought their shorthanded goal was a key turning point. And when Dumba fell down there and they got the 2-on-1, that was a key turning point in the game. And then the third, it's tough. Last night we came from behind twice, and to expect our team on a night like tonight, 7 games in 10 days, I just didn't think we had a lot of energy to come back. They played a smart third period, didn't give us many chances except on the power play.
Can I ask you what you said to your team, probably devastated in defeat, but great efforts out there?
Yeah, it was a tough talk. Certainly for these guys, you got to remember they start on August 20th or 22nd, whenever we start training camp. They know how hard it is to get here. We've been fortunate enough to have been here before, but it's tough. A lot of their junior careers are ending. They're going to be moving on. This will be the last time this team plays together. So there's always changes with groups, and so it's tough. I talked, but I don't know if they heard a lot. There's a lot of tears in the dressing room. Those are tough situations to go through. Eventually they'll look back and they'll be proud of their accomplishment, but it's not easy tonight.
And you've been here for 4 straight years. You run a great program. I know it may be hard right now to look at positives going forward to next year, but do you see some positives going ahead to next October?
Well, I think anytime you can play this deep in the playoffs with young guys, it certainly contributes to your success the next year. I like our group going forward. We've got a real good core coming back. Certainly we're going to be missing some big pieces on defense and a couple forwards. But other than that, I like our group. And I just think the experiences you gain when you have an opportunity to win or be put in a spotlight like this are great experiences for the players.
Mike, thanks for joining us. Congratulations on another great season.
Thanks.
Let's head over to Andy and Peter.
All right, thanks very much, Stu. And again, Mike Johnston, great of him to give us the interview
as
here
classy
in the
as it gets right there.
And you mentioned before, this is a team that's likely not going anywhere in the Western Conference anytime soon.
Well, look at the group of forwards. Yes, they will lose Brendan Leipsic, likely to the Nashville Predators, and if not the Predators, an American Hockey League situation, will lose Taylor Lear to pro hockey. But after that, Andy, I expect every other player, the Patans, the Bittners, the Iversons, the Schoenborns, the Bjorkstrands, keep going down the line. I mean, once again, they will enter next season as one of the favorites because of a terrific forward group in particular, and a forward group that has gotten more mature, has been through more games, more experiences, both on the good side and on the tough side, as losing Game 7 is absolutely miserable when you fight and all the twists and turns. But this group's not going anywhere, and they have some players that they'll bring in next year. You can be sure of that. I expect them probably to make another deep run with who they'll return.
Well, 2 years ago, the Edmonton Oil Kings were at the MasterCard Memorial Cup. They won the first game in Shawinigan, but it was a tough road after that for them. I'm sure there's many lessons from that 2 years ago that they can take, along with what they did from last night to tonight. But 2 years ago, they had that. And a lot of players returning from that team 2 years ago.
Well, I've been very lucky to be involved in that tournament, whether broadcasting it or just being at it or covering it. And here's what I will say. There is an unbelievable advantage, Andy, to have gone through the experience, to understand the media, the demands. It's different. It's completely different than anything that teams have been through before. So when you've been through it, and you've been through it with 5, 6, 7 guys and your key guys and your core guys, you're so much better prepared the second time. And I've seen it. I've seen it a number of times where teams have gone in. It's new. They're overwhelmed. It's a different stage. You don't get a chance to set your schedule the same way like you do even through the League Championship Series. And it can really, really make it tough. So it is a huge advantage that Edmonton goes back to another one with a large group of players who, A, will be key players, and B, who have been through the experience before.
3/4 of the MasterCard Memorial Cup field is set. Only one to decide. That's the QMJHL Championship. They'll play Game 7 tomorrow between Baie-Comeau and Val-d'Or. The Edmonton Oil Kings, WHL champions for the second time in 3 years. Sadly, we'll wrap things up on the other side of the break. Well, for the second time in 3 years, the Edmonton Oil Kings are the Western Hockey League champions. They're off to London for the MasterCard Memorial Cup, where they will try to bring the WHL a title for the first time since Spokane won it all in 2008. A 4-2 decision here in Game 7, the first road team to do it. It's a fabulous crew that we work with, and hard to believe that the season is done. Peter Lavadius, Dan Russell, Bill Wilms, Stu Walters, the whole crew of producers, Dave Roberts, Grant Wilkins, Colin McQuillan, all the work he does with videos as well, everybody in the truck as well. We're blessed to have such a great crew to bring these games to you, and we'll hopefully be back with you, all of us, next fall when these two teams and the other 20 get set for the 2014-15 Western Hockey League season. All the best to the Edmonton Oil Kings in London. Thanks so much for watching, and so long from Portland, Oregon.